Hello, my Teaserking friends. I can see my wind and my car blew my hair. Just 1 second. Okay, so it's just I work till like little after 5, and then I got to get to the pool because now the pool for summer hours I don't have enough lifeguards. Closes at 8. So if I do class first, I can't get to the pool. So I run to the pool at 6 and swim and stretch my back, which is very, very much better. And yeah, my feet are good. Everything, so I'm getting pretty healthy. Now, rule number 1 about scammers: if a girl does not send you a picture, as this Kenzie does, oh, I can't send a picture. So I sent her $100 just to prove the point, to prove the scam for you guys. Oh, my manager won't let me fly. And it was obvious a scam. I don't know anybody that can't send a picture. If they can't, they're obviously not real because they can't send a picture because they're somebody else. So if you can't talk to somebody on Skype or on Teams, don't even waste time. It's just a scam, and there's no point in it. You're just wasting time and money. So the gals in the Ukraine and Russia I've met, and I talk on WhatsApp, and I get pictures, and they're all real. I know their numbers. I call, I get a picture. It's Daria, it's Jenna, it's Carmen, it's Irina. So I have no problem with them, and I've met them all. I haven't met Daria yet, but I met the other 3. I'm sure Daria's Daria. So if you meet them and you talk to them, and then you want to help them, that's perfectly fine. You can help them out a little, but you got to watch these girls on Instagram, on Twitter. If they can't produce a phone call, Skype or Teams, something that you can talk to like that, like me, right? Because I'm here. So if they can't produce a picture, it ain't real. Okay, I'm just pure and simple. It ain't real. Don't waste your time on it. And I just was proving a point. I knew it was a scam, like I said, but let's see. So I'm getting the bullshit. Oh, my manager won't let me get on a flight. Yeah, okay. You're a big porn star. You make a lot of money, and you can't fly. Oh, okay. Your manager won't let you send a picture. Oh, really? Oh, okay. How stupid do you fucking think I am? Like I said, we see her pop in on here. She doesn't add anything, and then she can't send a picture. Yeah, okay. So we're done with that chapter. I told her I got people in the Ukraine in a fucking war. I don't have time for this shit. So anyway, let's get on to gold. Hey, Bobby Bo. Well, Kenzie, I sent her $100 so she could fly here, and she's giving me, well, my manager won't let me, and she still won't send me a picture. Yeah. So now she's giving me, my manager won't let me fly to you. Kenzie, you're a big porn star. Like, you seriously eating cherries, Bobby Mo. You seriously can't fly to me because your manager won't allow it? Did that happen with you, Bobby, in baseball? You had a manager. I did it on purpose because I wanted to prove a point to the class. They're good for gout, the cherries. They're a little sweet, but it's a nice treat. It's late, so I won't eat too many. Well, they do have benefits, but they are a sweet fruit. So it depends what you're trying to do. If you're watching your sugars, I would not advise. I'd get 5 of them and just eat them in the store. If you're not watching your sugars, you can have a little as a treat because I know they're just in the summer. Anyway, guys, if a girl you should meet them in real, but if you meet them like I do on chat or on something, like I said, Jenna, I met on chat. I get pictures. We're on WhatsApp. I meet her. It's her and Carmen and Irina and Daria. It's them, right? I don't. You get the numbers and they send you pictures. So if a girl doesn't Skype you or Teams you and won't send you a picture and say, "Oh, it's me. It's really me," just tell them to fuck off. Don't waste time. Like, oh, baby, it's them. It isn't them. They don't. What are they going to do with you? For instance, I'm hungry now, but don't want to eat late. So don't. Just have tea or water, and we'll talk about other things. Her manager won't let her send a pic. It's against her contract. And I really believe that one. I've never heard of that. I've talked to other girls on this Instagram or Twitter, and I've always gotten pictures, but I never believe, they'd be older pictures, but I've never heard this one before. This is such a obvious scam. So I told her to fuck off. She said, "Oh, I want to come. I'm going to come visit you." Well, come. I'm not stopping you. You're welcome here if you can fly here. But I'm not surprised. I got the old, well, my boss won't let me. Oh, I need more money from you. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Send me a picture. We'll talk. But the odds that it's really her are zero. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Anyway, I did my football. We can either talk college football or we can talk gold. Always interested in both. Let's quickly talk gold, I guess. So we see silver. This is pointless. 28.89, gold 1914. I saw a real disturbing video today on like all the mafia and everything that controls everything. Let's see if I can find it. Well, I got one here on Venezuela.
Temu Curve hot summer sale up to 90% off. Come and shop on Temu now.
What's with this Facebook? You're trying to
everyone's surprise.
You're trying to show a video and it's all fucking. You get 3 ads. I'm gonna play this real quick on Venezuela. How it's like Cuba. They're real rich and now they're real poor.
When oil prices are high, there's more demand for Venezuela's currency, the bolivar, so it appreciates. And the more one bolivar is worth, the fewer you can get for the same dollar or euro or yen, making its exports more expensive for the rest of the world. Say, for instance, 10 bolivars were worth $1. At this rate, someone in Florida could buy a pound of 20 bolivar Venezuelan coffee for $2. Not bad. But then oil prices cause the bolivar to appreciate. That same pound of coffee
that's
now
not
costs
true.
$4. Through no fault of their own, coffee farmers are now half as globally competitive. Now, this isn't necessarily as bad as it sounds. When exports are effectively twice as expensive, imports are effectively 50% off. Those 10 original bolivars are worth $2, not just $1. It's no wonder virtually everything in Venezuela is imported, from appliances and cars to simple things like food and apparel. Even bolivars themselves arrive on 747s. All of this is to say, in Venezuela, the highs are high. Strong oil prices not only bring in loads of cash, but they also make foreign goods that much cheaper. In 1970, Venezuela had a higher per capita GDP than either Spain or Greece. nearly 60% of the population was middle class, and the Concorde flew direct flights to Paris. Another explosion of wealth came during China's rise in the early 2000s. As demand for oil soared, the country even began importing doctors. But with such high highs come extraordinarily low lows. Because no smart politician withholds riches from voters, nothing is ever set aside for a rainy day. And in the oil business, there are always rainy days. Remember, when oil prices fall, the state both loses revenue and the imports they've come to depend on become more expensive. That's a brutal combination. Those coffee farmers from earlier go bankrupt when oil prices are high, leaving Venezuela without domestic producers of, frankly, anything when they aren't. This cycle of boom and bust has been going on since the first well was drilled over 100 years ago. But this latest crisis is especially prolonged thanks to a potent mix of weak oil prices and U.S. sanctions imposed after its president manipulated elections. Things got so bad that the country once ran out of money to pay its supplier of that money. So what was the government's solution? Print more money.
Inflation.
Since 2007, the Central Bank of Venezuela is no longer independent, giving politicians direct control of the money supply. This, to everyone's surprise, led to something called inflation. At first, the government simply pretended it wasn't happening, refusing to release the data. By the time it finally gave up the charade in 2019, inflation was at 130,000%. About 129,997% higher than its neighbor, Colombia. While taxi drivers can easily raise their rates to adjust for inflation, the salaries of professionals were reduced to nothing. No wonder such a high proportion of migrants were doctors, lawyers, and professors.
So, what do we have coming here? 130,000% inflation. Well, if there's deflation, then why wouldn't they stop inflation? Yeah, or whoever it is. Actually, I think the name's Igor from Moscow, wanting money. So look what inflation did. Look what happened when the government printed money. So they got all this oil. Now, first of all, oil has nothing to do with coffee prices and the money. It's all got nothing to do with oil. But it shows you what happens with inflation. Here's Venezuela with all this oil. Reminds me of Cuba with all the sugar that we talked about the other day. She wouldn't know what alligator said. I doubt she does. I did quote some alligators on Sunday. I hope you watched Sunday's show. If you didn't, I could review some of it. But alligator was on in his blog. So the reason I'm showing you Venezuela and I showed you Cuba, because they had inflation and they went broke and they're poor. And the other part I didn't like was the U.S. influence in their elections, putting in their people. Why the fuck is the U.S. getting involved with other countries' elections? That's absolutely ridiculous. They need to stay in their own backyards. And no wonder everybody hates the U.S. No wonder everybody wants to de-dollarize. And it took a while, but once you got Russia and China and India doing it, South Africa and Saudi Arabia, then I can easily join the line. However, if it was me and in my country, we'd be on gold right now, not worrying about it. So I just wanted to show you that. There was all right, there's something called HSBC's Dirty Secrets. HSBC is a bank. It's Hong Kong, Singapore. No, I think it's Singapore bank. It's out of Hong Kong and London. It's the biggest bunch of criminals in the world. It's all mafia run. Nobody does anything. They launder millions and billions of dollars. Nobody says shit to them. I'm sure JP Morgan's involved with that some way. When I read that, I started thinking, well, now I know why gold price doesn't go up. Here's what we're fighting. So let's think fifth dimensionally, which is what I tend to do a lot. Who wants gold price to go up? We do. Who doesn't want gold price to go up? People who have US dollars who, if this goes out, they lose a lot of money, like the mafia and JP Morgan and Buffett and Gates and all these idiots in the UK. All these people without gold do not want this to go to zero. However, I don't think there's anything they can do with it. Look at Venezuela. But that's partly what I'm seeing is who wants to keep the gold price down. And the only thing I can think of is the mafia here in HSBC. The biggest fucking bank. It's Hong Kong and Sri Lanka or something. I can't remember the Singapore, I think. It's in Asia. And now they're coming to America. So I took a picture of this. So here's a HSBC bank coming to America. I think it says it in here. New in U.S. If you know anybody or you want to join this, get the fuck away. They are mafia. Believe me, you'll lose all your money. And they're very, very much a criminal organization. So when I'm thinking about, obviously JP Morgan is involved. So when I'm thinking about what are we waiting for with gold, obviously COMEX to let it go to market. Now I'm thinking, well, these guys are laundering money. Do they want gold to go up? And that's my initial thought, fifth dimensionally, was they don't. If gold goes up, everybody gets out of the dollar. All their money goes to zero. I don't know if they're bright enough to think that or not. So if I'm laundering money and I'm the mafia and I got $1 trillion in USD or whatever, they launder money for Mexico, the drug cartels, and all the other prostitution and everything else. So if they do that, they all go to zero, right? So they got all this money. It goes to, why they're not in gold is beyond me, but they're in money. Gold's not traceable. So you're not going to trace gold. It's nobody knows you have it. So all the criminals who should be in gold aren't in gold, and they're in dollars. And if the gold comes up, the dollar goes out, and then they lose all their money. That's kind of what I'm thinking fifth dimensionally, why they keep the gold price down, because somebody big is keeping the price down, and it ain't JP Morgan. They're not that big. So that's kind of where I see it is we got an uphill fight. That's why, but our buddies are the central banks, and all the banks are buying gold. And so who wants it besides us? All the central banks and BRICS, China, Russia, India, they all want the gold price to go up because they're in gold. So these guys, the mafia, Mexico, JP Morgan, all are in dollars, don't want the price to go up. So you can see where the war is between, but we got China and Russia on our side, which I'm glad. But eventually you're going to have a 1 trillion% inflation rate. because these idiots keep printing and printing and printing. So eventually what happens is the dollar will go out and people will realize it and start pulling their money out. And once that happens, I mean, they don't have a control over this. Just like Venezuela, they printed money and they printed money, and inflation went to 130,000%. Well, why? I mean, they have all this oil. So that's my point. So this is what we're fighting. We know this is the value of it, and we know we're trying to get it. So that's really what is going on with it, and why we're struggling to get it at market. But I think it's inevitable that it's going to break, just like Venezuela. It broke, and that's what happened. So you saw inflation. Government couldn't control it. The doctors were making zero. The cab drivers, if you wanted to get around, charged. And that's basically, there's no food there's no food at all in the country. People are starving. So just that's what's happening. But anyway, stay away from this HSBC. This one I had to laugh at. It says, baby boomers are going to save the economy as they spend down their $75 trillion nest egg while millennials struggle with student debt. Okay, how does that save the economy? What the fuck are they talking about? Again, this is Keynesian. They think if we spend their money, that saves the economy. No. If you keep printing, it doesn't matter if we spend it or we save it. There's nothing wrong with saving your money. That's fine. That does not save the economy. So again, more idiots who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I take, I'm on Microsoft on my job, and I see these stupid things. So I'm just commenting on them. For you, Bobby, what are mortgage rates now? Over the last year and a half, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate increased from 3% up to 6 to 7%. So now it's 7 for a 30-year fixed. I'm assuming if you have perfect credit. The majority of the increase happened throughout 22 amidst the Fed rate. The Fed's rate hikes don't have anything to do with mortgage rates. Because the Fed raises a quarter does not raise mortgage rates. It's only raised by inflation. Because I need to get the money back, right? If I loan Bobby 10 grand, I want 12 grand back. The only way I can do it is if I loan him 10, I got to increase the interest rate. It has nothing to do with the Fed raising rates. What a bunch of fucking idiots these people are. For home buyers, higher interest rates mean higher borrowing costs and decreased buyer power. A simple use of the mortgage calculator, whatever. So it says, where are mortgage rates headed? And that's housing prices in October 22 were 38% higher than they were at the start of the pandemic. In March 2020, based on Fortune's figures, however, they started to fall in November 22, with prices down 2.4% from the peak in June. According to whoever, experts are predicting another 10 to 15% drop by the second or third quarter of 23. According, several other factors point to further home price correction. U.S. home constructions fell for the I didn't get that, for the something straight month in November. Reuters reports single-family housing starts fell by 4% last fall. Additionally, institutional home buyers reduced buying levels by 90%. With Blackstone-owned Home Partners of America also slowed their purchases. So, as you can see, home prices are going down because it's more expensive. Anytime things are more expensive, prices, the quantity drops. Bananas go up to $10, you're not going to sell any. You lower them to 10 cents, you'll sell a bunch. So the price dictates what you're selling. That's why I say housing and car prices are dropping, because people can't afford it. So therefore they have to lower their price. Still hiring. Big tech layoffs give other sectors, and so the big tech is laying off, as I showed you. Beijing, oh, here's a good one. Beijing, China's number 2 leader, said Tuesday that economic growth accelerated in the last quarter and expressed confidence it can hit the ruling Communist Party's official target of 5% for the year. How could we let the Communist ruling party down? If they don't make it, they're all going to get killed. Premier whatever, speaking at a conference in the eastern city of Taiwan, gave no figure for the 3 months ending in June, but said it was faster than the previous quarter's 4.5. The world's second largest economy rebounded from 2022's unusual weak 3% growth following the end of antivirus control. So if you believe any of this shit, that it's going to be 5, you're out of your mind. Not a chance. Tesla Model Y performance specs. Tesla's lowering their price again. Now here's what the comment was Tesla was the number 2 automaker, in America, and it was a whole whopping 267,000 units worldwide. Okay. The achievement marks a historic milestone in the industry, as no EV has been able to dominate the global rankings until now. These staggering numbers also represent a 69% increase to get it up to 267 and come to vindicate Elon. Yeah, so this guy, the F-150 is the most popular. Another thing about electric vehicles, besides the battery blowing up, is it makes big potholes. So in the UK, they're bitching because the electric cars are too heavy for the roads. Therefore, the roads are getting big potholes. Another little side effect of electric cars. But the headline was that they're the second biggest sales of any car, and then you see it's a whole 267, and it's like the whole economy is nothing. Nobody wants electric cars. Here, the Tesla Model Y is also the best-selling vehicle in Europe, doing 66,000. The Y outsold every electric vehicle in Germany, France, Norway, Spain, and the UK with over 66,000 units. Normally, you sell about 15 million. They sold 66,000. Anyway, just why that stacks up, I don't know. Here's one that's interesting. Yellen plans to go to China. Yellen plans China trip as U.S. preps investment curves. They're begging them not to do the BRICS and not to do the gold. And what do you think China's going to say to Yellen? Yeah, okay, sure. We won't do it. So they're begging. Yellen doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. She's an idiot. Here we go. Ford salary layoffs coming. Ford salary layoffs coming over the next 2 days, company announces. I'm telling you, Ford's out, okay? As much as the U.S. dollar's gone, Ford's gone, GM's gone, because they got rid of all their gas-powered cars for electric. They can't sell electric. Toyota can't sell electric. I told you when I was there getting my oil changed, I'm talking to the sales manager. We can't sell any. Here's Ford. They can't sell any. So how the fuck are they going to be in business? If you don't have sales, how are you going to pay for the plant and the electricity and the rent and the taxes and everything else you got to pay? And William Clay Ford and all the little Fordies and the Lions, how are you going to pay all these people if you're not making any sales? And you're not going to make sales with electric cars because nobody wants it, says law. Ford job cuts hit contract workers, salaried employees lay off to fall. Okay, so that's what I read. Ticking time bomb on interest rates. To answer Bobby's question, ticking time bomb warning on mortgage interest rates, meaning it's going to go through the roof. So the question is, do I buy a house now or do I wait? And they're almost saying, you should buy the house now before the interest rates go up, but you're not going to be able to sell it. That's why our friend in Canada who just put 400 grand down on a $700,000 house is going to get fucked because his interest rates go up. And in Canada, believe me, they will. He'll never be able to sell it. He could have put 400 grand into gold, a no risk, 1,000% return. No, I don't want to do that. I want to put 400 grand into a house in a very expensive time in inflation while interest rates go up. I don't know. I mean, people who come on but don't listen get what they deserve. I mean, this guy's an idiot. So interest rates are going to go up because that's what inflation does. The value of the dollar drops, so people have to charge more in interest to get the value out, especially mortgages and cars, people who lend money. Top Wall Street analyst. I'll read you that one. Top Wall Street analyst warns of proper bust in 2023. Stocks are trading in high risk zone. See, all this is bullshit. If you just know that costs go up, everything has to drop, you would know stocks are going to drop. Bonds are going to drop because of high interest rate, slower economy. So companies aren't going to make their earnings. You raised my Canadian club from $50 to $100. You think the stock's going to go up? The stock's going to go down because they're going to sell a lot less bottles. They're not going to be able to cover their cost. Sorry, Bobby. Not to get off subject, Professor, but you heard about Leonard Fournier's car catching on fire today while he was driving it. I'm glad he was able to get out of time. Yeah, I know. He's in LSU. Is this an electric car, I'm assuming? Oh, yeah, you talking about Andrew who got expelled from class a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, our Canadian buddy. Do you think house prices will continue to increase into next year? No, they won't. They'll go down. Interest rates will go up. But so I have demand, I have price at demand, except for in gold, everything else. So if interest rates go up, the costs go up. So I need to sell, so prices will drop so I can sell. So in other words, because you're adding this high interest rate, 7-8%, you have to lower. So let's say it's a $500,000 house at 8%, but the market says I'll give you 500. Well, it's not 500. 500 plus 8 is about 650. So you got to lower your price because you have to include interest rates. So now it's down to 400,000, and your 500's down to 4, because at 500, let's say you're paying 2,000 a month. Well, 500 at 8% is like 3,000 a month. So you've got to get this back down to 2, which puts it at 400,000 at 8%, probably gets you the 2,000. So the prices have to fall by the interest rate increase, and the dollars are worth less. So if you understand inflation, you go, I'm going to get fucked. I'm going to get paid back in inflated dollars. I'm going to get paid back in this. So if I'm loaning money, if I'm loaning to Bobby, we're not even talking dollars. I want, let's see, gold is selling at 2,000 an ounce and you need $20,000. So you give me 10 ounces of gold, no interest, and I'll loan you the 20 grand. I'll give you 20 ounces of gold, and you give me back 20 ounces of gold. No interest. That would be how I would make a loan right now. Here's 20 ounces of gold, no interest, but you got to pay me back 20 ounces of gold. And the 20 ounces of gold you're going to pay me back is going to be worth 20,000 an ounce, and I'm giving it to you at 2,000 an ounce. I will do that. Will you do that, Bobby? So house prices will continue to increase. No, the cost of the interest will lower the price. It has to. Inflation has dropped everything but real estate. It's pretty annoying for buyers of real estate. Is that Kenzie trying to pretend she's real? Inflation has dropped everything but real estate. Oh, yeah, it'll drop real estate. So what you got to realize, real estate is an asset. And what I don't like, the best live I've ever seen. Thank you, Kush. Yeah, I am. I'm up there. Put it this way: I give you the truth, and you learn a whole lot. This is a class, so understand that inflation takes this out, and that's the first thing. However, you want to hold assets. I don't have my gold out, but let's say this is gold. What people don't understand about gold is they think it's only good when the economy's bad. It's not. It's if you didn't have JP Morgan price fixing it, there'd be no difference between a Rolex, a Mantle card, a Bobby Bow card, and gold. It would all be assets. They would all go through the roof. It's not because it's not a safe haven when things go bad. It's JP Morgan price fixing. Again, these idiots cannot concept what gold really is. It's an asset and it's money, and it's got nothing to do if the economy's good, bad, or ugly. It doesn't matter. If you stop with the price fixing and let this go, the Mantle card's worth $1 million. The Jordan rookie's $1.5 million. I don't know what your rookie is, Bobby. The Mays card, the Hank Aaron, the Clementis, they're all worth a fortune. And this is in the middle of good times, right? It's got nothing to do with bad time. The Mantle card goes up. It's the supply and demand of I want a Mantle card. And a lot of people want it. And you get a PSA 10 or a PSA 9, you're going to get millions of dollars for it. Or a Brady or a Jordan, da-da-da-da-da. So when they say gold's only good in a bad economy, they're out of their fucking minds. They don't understand that gold is gold. It doesn't matter. It's an asset and it's money, and people just refuse to get it for some reason. I just, it blows my mind. But real estate really has gone up a lot. I have a friend in Alabama, and his house was 250 or 200. Now it's 400 or 500. It's gone up because of inflation. It just already went up. Gold and silver are the only things that haven't gone up yet. So keep that in mind. They haven't, but they will. And that's where we're at. Let me see. So, Bobby, do you need me to read Alligator's blog from Friday? I think I did it Saturday and then Sunday because it was such a long one. If you haven't seen it, I can go through some of the highlights. Now, here's probably the dumbest read I ever had. If we don't raise rates now, high inflation can stay with us longer. Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey said after raising interest unexpectedly by a 0.5 percentage point on Thursday. Even though inflation is slowing in many countries, which is bullshit, after more than a year of interest rate hikes, it remains above the 2% level. Many say, why would you target 2%? It's a tax. It hurts. You don't want to devalue the money at all. So why is 2% good? 2% is not good. Shouldn't be anything. Raising interest rates is the primary tool central banks have at their disposal to get inflation down. What a bunch of crap that is. At the same time, research indicates there's a lag effect of at least 12 months from when a central bank acts to when its actions are felt. That's not correct. It's 6 months. So if I raise rates a 0.5%, it takes 6 months to go through the market, and then I can see what happened. You don't do it the way these idiots are doing every month. You won't see the effects for 2 years. That's why the Federal Reserve paused interest rate hikes at its June meeting after 10 consecutive hikes since last March. Yet many Fed officials are signaling interest rates could go up again next month, since they, like Bailey, don't want to risk losing their grip on inflation. The reason they didn't raise interest rates are because the banks would have started going out. And if the banks go out, people are out of the banks, out of dollars into gold, and they don't want into gold. So I will be happy to see all the mafia and Mexicans and all the George Soros and the Warren Buffets and the Gates lose their shirts, because it's all gonna go to zero. You're sitting on $1 billion worthless dollars. You're sitting on $1 billion of these, and they're all going to zero. And if you're not smart enough and you're a billionaire, everybody who thinks a billionaire is the smartest guy in the world, it's going to be worth zero. They're all going to lose their asses. And we'll be sitting here. I'll be sitting here with my gold laughing at them, because I'll have a higher value than they will. Well, anyway, this guy's full of shit. The interest rates don't do shit. Unless you stop the money printing, the interest rates don't do shit. All right, I think that was it for today. Here's another interesting read. The Pandora Papers is about HSBC. So it's about these fellows. And they did a whole thing, and they found they were guilty of shit, and nobody will prosecute them. It's just like the U.S. It's like the gold fixing. Nobody will price fix, yet everybody knows they do it. It's highly illegal, but they just sit there like, well, either we're paid off or they're going to kill us. And if it's mafia, they'll probably kill you. So this is the problem right now. Nobody will do anything because it's all fixed, and it's all very dirty money. So again, you can read. This is a YouTube one that I haven't read. I haven't watched it yet, but this one is it's scary. It's all mafia, and it's all money laundering. Mexico, Russia, the whole fucking world just launders the money through this bank. It's out of Hong Kong and Singapore, so nobody can really touch it because it's out of Hong Kong, and Hong Kong won't do anything. But now it's all over the world. So who's going to do anything? It's a pretty scary thing, but it wakes you up into understanding how corrupt everything is. We think football is corrupt. Oh my God, this is just incredibly corrupt. That's the problem. So again, when you see these, why Venezuela's economy and why Cuba, it's always the same. It's always inflation. Oh, the government started printing the money, and why didn't they stop it? Why didn't they raise interest rates? Because once it gets going, it's gone. And who's headed there? We are, the UK, Europe, Japan, China, Russia, and the only way out is gold. So keep that in mind as you buy more and more gold. You can't get frustrated. The gold price isn't going up. Again, there are certain players on this chessboard that we call life who don't want it to go up because they're in dollars. Then you have the other people on the chessboard, the Chinese, the Russians, the Indians, the Saudis, who have more gold, who want the price to go up. These are our friends. Our friends are Chinese and Russians now, but they want the price to go up, and that's what we want. And, you know, they have this summit in Africa, the end of August, where they're going to announce the BRICS are going to come out with currency backed by gold. I don't know. Janet Yellen ain't going to do shit. I know JP Morgan went to talk to China. Believe me, you ain't changing their mind. They're all communist. They do not. They need they're all going broke. They need the gold to go up. And once everybody realizes the dollar is worthless, it can be the reserve currency. It doesn't fucking matter. If it has no value because they printed it to death, it's zero. And if it's zero, it's zero. So that's kind of what you have to understand. Even if it is the reserve currency, it has no value. And if you think I'm wrong, well, why did Venezuela and Cuba and Turkey and all these with high inflation not stop it? Why didn't they raise interest rates? Right? Why didn't they, do something to stop the inflation? Because you can't once it's gone. Now, the other thing is people don't understand what hyperinflation is. They think, oh, it's when inflation's 50%. No, hyperinflation is when the public panics and the public starts realizing their paper's worthless. Once people start realizing this has no value, they get it and they go buy tuna and milk and toilet paper and butter as fast as they can. And then there's the frenzy. That's hyperinflation. You get your money, you go shopping because you're buying before the prices go up. So like Bobby's talking about a house, should I buy it now? And I'd say, well, you buy it now only because you're afraid interest rates are going up if you need to buy it now. Otherwise, you don't. And so that's kind of where it's at. So basically, just lost my thought there. So that's what you do is you buy it now if you think things are going to go up. But once the hyperinflation hits, and look at Germany, that's why they needed a wheelbarrow full of money, because they'd buy milk and bread with it, because that's how much money, that's how it was worth nothing. That's how much money it took to get to buy the milk, and then they would print trillions of dollars, the Germans, and then you'd get it, and they'd put it on there. It was wallpaper because it wouldn't print. So again, it's money. This is not money. This is government debt. It has no value. It never had a value. They just put a president and a 1 and a 10 to make it look fancy, but this is all a scam. It's all a pyramid scheme. Madoff would be proud of this. So just to understand, this has never been worth anything. It's an illusion that you think $100 is worth $100. Warren Buffett, who has $2 billion in cash, thinks he actually has something worth value. He doesn't. It's not worth anything. The only thing we have that's worth value is gold and silver and our Canadian club. This has value because it's real. And you can't print it. You can't copy it. All the gold and silver has value because it's real. I was listening to Rick Roll today for about 30 seconds, and I was throwing up. The guy's such an asshole. And he must have heard me, because I call him a liar and a thief, and he should go to jail because he tells people to get into the ETF as if it's actually gold and silver, which it's not. ETFs are not real gold or silver. And I said, this guy's not an economist. He's a Keynesian. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So I actually heard him today say, well, I'm just a credit analyst or something. So he actually admitted, so he must have heard me, because he's actually admitting, I'm not an economist, I'm a credit analyst. So if you're a credit analyst, what the fuck are you talking about gold and silver like you're an economist for? Because that's how you come across. You come across talking these big words that nobody understands, including yourself, that's written out of a textbook that you memorize because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Do I need a script? Do I need a book? Can I not talk in English at a 5th grade level so everybody here can understand what the fuck I'm talking about? So this is the first time. So he's a credit analyst. So what the fuck are you talking about economics for? Why would you talk gold and silver? What are you talking? Why are you on YouTube explaining gold when you have no fucking clue? You're a credit analyst, which means you look, can somebody afford, can I give this guy a loan is what he is. That's it. What's your credit score? Yes, I can loan you $20,000. What the fuck is this? So he finally admitted it. See, I knew if I put those comments in, eventually they're reading them, and eventually, it's going to hurt them. I do the same thing to the other idiots, Reichert and Maloney and these others. Oh, let's put the charts up. Charts don't work. Brady doesn't play on New England anymore. What the fuck would a 2008 chart mean today? All right, that's my talk on gold. Keep buying it. Buy as much as you can. Don't worry, because as like Venezuela and Cuba, this is going to zero. There's no way they can stop it. If they could, they would have stopped it in Venezuela. They'd have stopped it in Turkey and Pakistan, real recent, and Greece and Cuba. They would have stopped it if they could. But what do? They print more, and they print more, thinking, well, we'll print more. Well, we got 33 trillion in debt, and we got at least $12 trillion out there. And again, how I explain inflation, me working, getting a paycheck, and buying golf clubs is good money. I earned it and I spent it, and that's not inflation. The inflation's when the government prints money that doesn't go anywhere. They just give money. Here's welfare. Here's food stamps. Here's Social Security. Here's, it's 4th of July. When the government just gives you money, that's the inflation. And they've just given $12 trillion out. Oh, it's COVID. We'll give money out. The fuck is that? So the money earned and spent is fine. It's the extra money. I always wondered, well, how much money do we, how do we realize what's printed is inflation versus what's normal? Theoretically, it's all inflation because it's not backed by anything. But they've been hiding it because since 71, it's been inflation. And then they try to say, well, it's all over the world, so therefore it doesn't count. So there's a whole shitload of inflation. But as soon as the people realize that it's not good, then, once they realize the money is inflated, it's Venezuela, it's Cuba, it's Turkey, this money has no value. And as Egon says, I'm filling the stadium 50%. It takes 50 minutes. After 45 minutes, it's only 7% full. In the last 5 minutes, it's full. And that's where we're at. We're probably about 40 minutes into the game. And all of a sudden, and without warning, it's gone. And you're going to have, well, at least your credit cards and mortgages will be zero. You won't have any money in the bank, but we don't have any money in the bank anyway. We got a few grand. Our gold will go up dramatically, and we'll look for a nice little city to buy. But that's all going to happen. But the real rich are going to be poor too because they're holding dollars or they're in stocks. Either way, they're fucked. So keep that in mind. That's what's happening. So be careful. Kenji just shot. My manager's afraid you'll hurt me. What am I talking to? A 2-year-old here? Like, man, you might hurt me. Okay, so go fuck yourself. I'm going to hurt you. You're not watching me here? I don't hurt people. All right, stay in your room and you won't get hurt. Okay, college football week 1. Let's change the pace here. So we are all buying gold and silver. They're keeping the price down, so everybody stays in dollars as it goes, as the Titanic sinks into the ocean. Don't get off. Don't buy money. Don't buy stocks. Get the fuck out. Be very careful with housing. Yes, it's an asset, but the interest rates are going to go up. You'll never be able to sell it. So if you think of buying like you're going to sell, like you're in Canada, you're going to be fucked. And if you have 400 grand and you don't put 350 in gold, you're the dumbest guy. I don't even want you on the channel because you're the dumbest guy. That's not what I teach, and it's an insult that you would be that stupid. Okay, now I got my book, Athons. Now I wanted it anyway, not Bob Steele or whatever, but I went to Barnes & Noble, and this was the only football book they had. I think they had Street and Smith's, but it was fantasy. But this was the only one that really gives you the teams and the quarterbacks. So with that said, I had fun on Sunday. What's today? Tuesday. I was Sunday and then a little bit yesterday. So if I go through this, I'm going to go through week 1's games. I found 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 locks that I'm drooling already that I want to bet just based on everything that I read. So Navy, Notre Dame. Navy's got a new quarterback. We know Notre Dame's got Hartman from Wake. We're very happy there. UMass, New Mexico. UMass has a new quarterback. And New Mexico State's got Pavia, my guy from last year, who lit it up. They're laying 9. I am in love with this one. New Mexico State laying 3 with a quarterback who's an option quarterback who lit it up last year. New Mexico State's getting better. UMass sucks. New quarterback. New Mexico State. At New Mexico State, they're going to kill them. Ohio and San Diego State. Ohio's got Rourke coming back. San Diego State's got Millen coming back or somebody like that. Ohio's an interesting. This Rourke's a really good quarterback. So Ohio's an interesting dog here. We'll have to see, but it should be a good game. Hawaii, Vandy. Hawaii's got Shager coming back. Vandy's got Swan coming back. It's a big number. We'll see what Schlager in his second year and the coaches in his second year can do. Vandy, just they're an SEC team at home. I would think they'd cover. San Jose State, USC. San Jose State's got a really good quarterback, Cordero. USC's got a really good quarterback in Williams. The defense I thought San Jose State has doesn't have it. It's a lot of guys are gone. They I want to say retired. They graduated. So USC, now I love the over in this game. They're going to score, but San Jose State with Cordero is going to score. Very good quarterback. So look for this. Look for them to be in the 20s and USC in the 50s. So this should get way over 57. So love the over 57 there. Florida International and LTAC. Florida International's got their quarterback back, but that's the good news. The bad news, they were a Z team. They couldn't score. Louisiana Tech's got the Boise quarterback, Backenbecker. He was there, and then he sucked, and they benched him and brought in this other quarterback. So he's now at LTAC, so I don't know what to make of that. He sucks, so we'll see. Kent State and UCF. Kent State's got a new quarterback, Burns. Their good quarterback went to UCLA, but he might not even start there. He might get beat out. UCF's got Plumlee, who was at Ole Miss. He's kind of a running quarterback that I think he gave you guys, LSU, all they wanted, Bobby. He ran for like 200 yards in the game. But he's on UCF, so he's a good running quarterback. Hey, 7-man out, going to go slow on totals this first 2 weeks with the new clock rules this year. Tell me about the new clock rules, 7-man out. Or 7-out man. What new clock rules? I haven't heard about them yet. I'll wait for you to respond. All right, NC State and UConn. Both teams have new quarterbacks. NC State's quarterback actually transferred. UConn's playing decent, but again, new quarterbacks we have to watch. Florida and Utah. This could be strong lock here. So I look at Florida. Their quarterback is Mertz from Wisconsin. Who the fuck takes a quarterback from Wisconsin? Didn't they do that? Didn't the guy go to Notre Dame or somewhere and he sucked and he stuck at Wisconsin and now Florida gets him? Against Rising in a revenge game in the mountains. I love Utah. I love them more now than I did before because their quarterback's Mertz. Oh, my God. You're getting a Wisconsin quarterback. Oh, they're going to kill him. So not only is he bad, he doesn't know the team or the system or anything. So love Utah there. Minnesota, Nebraska. Rules took over the coach. They got a new quarterback. Minnesota's got a new quarterback, but Minnesota has a great defense. Look for this team to stay in unders unless something the new clock rules. I can't imagine. Clock doesn't stop on first downs, only in the last 2 minutes of each half, like NFL rules. So there will be less possessions for each team in a game. So you're saying when a team got a first down and the clock would stop, for them to reset the chains, that's meaningless. First of all, let's look at it. So the team would get a first down. We're in the first quarter. They're not running up to the line of scrimmage anyway. So maybe it added 5 seconds for them to set the chains and then set the clock. That has no bearing at all on over-unders, in my opinion. Is it going to help Georgia under because the clock, because only when they were rushing and they need, like at the end of the game, and they knew they could stop the clock with the first down for 3 seconds. So they'd hurry up and spike the ball. That's all you're talking about. But the rest of the game, they weren't running up to the chains to spike the ball or to hurry up. So I don't really see this as a big deal at all. And it's not going to cost you're talking 2 seconds, and the way these guys score, it really won't matter. They're going to score anyway. So good point, but I really don't see a change. Only in the last 2 minutes of each half. So, the NFL does not stop the clock for first downs. So, no, the NFL doesn't. It's first down is first down. They only stop for timeouts and the 2-minute warning. So in college, what you're saying is when they really needed it, so there's 2 minutes left, you get a first down, the clock's going to stop to set the chains. That's the same thing. So that's when it's needed as when it was used. So the rest of the game. So this will have absolutely no bearing on it. But good point. Thank you, sir. Where am I at? All right. So Minnesota, Nebraska, strong defense. Nebraska's got no offense, no quarterback, not a good defense. I love this game under. And the fact that Minnesota and Nebraska doesn't have a quarterback, you're not going to see points. Nebraska will be lucky to score in this game. Again, this is not Turner Gill. This is not the 1984 team that put 50 points up a game. This team sucks. Rule, he's a defensive guy anyway, but I'm not a big thing. I love the under here. They're not going to score in Minnesota. Minnesota's got a great defense, and they're all back. And the quarterback's out there, and Mohammed Ibrahim's he's gone. I don't know what team is he on, but he's out. So I love this under. And Minnesota -1 is probably a good bet. Miami against Miami. All right, we got Gabbard against Van Dyke. Now here's the news on Miami of Florida. They've hired an offensive coordinator who wants to run an air raid offense. Thank you, God. Perfect for Van Dyke. So the coach admits he had the wrong offensive coordinator and he fucked Van Dyke. And now he's trying to say, well, Van Dyke had an injured shoulder, which I don't believe. It would have been on the injury report. So Van Dyke is healthy and he's going to run an air raid offense. We should be back to 50 points a game with Van Dyke. I'm excited. So I don't know week 1, but we'll get a dose of it. And as it gets more comfortable for him, look out. But we're going to be betting Van Dyke over as much as often. Here it's 51. But Miami, Ohio is an under team. They don't score a lot, but they got a pretty good defense. I don't know how it's going to react. Maybe in the MAC, I don't know how it's going to react here, but I'm certainly not going to be I'm going to watch the first week, but knowing they're going to the air raid, I can see Miami lighting it up with a guy like Van Dyke. Central Michigan, Michigan State. A new quarterback, very weak. None of the guys are any good. Michigan State does have Thornback, but Reed, his roommate who's played with him in high school, is in the pros. I think Minnesota got him. So over under a 52. Both defenses suck. Can Central score a little bit? It's probably an over game, 46. State should score, but both defenses suck. So I don't see how this won't be over. Central should, with the coach, should be able to get points. Louisville, Georgia Tech. Both quarterbacks are new. Braum goes back to Louisville with his brother as the offensive coordinator, and a guy, Key, who was the assistant coach at Georgia Tech, is now the coach, and he don't know what he's doing. I love Louisville here with Braum against Georgia Tech, who's got their quarterback Sims moved on. They got nobody, so this is they're going to be a joke. They were a W last year. Their defense is going to suck. I just like Braum, and the offense should find a way to put up 30 points here and win. Stanford and Hawaii. Stanford, McKee's gone. New quarterback. He sucks. Hawaii, Shager, as we mentioned in the Vanderbilt game. So we will get a point from how they played Vandy. This is the 26th to the 1st. And then Vanderbilt, so Hawaii here could be a good play. Stanford sucks. They got a new coach. They're just a terrible team. So we'll see if Hawaii can play Vandy pretty good, then they're at home against Stanford. Army and Lou Monroe. Army, I got as a B team. Quarterback's back. Strong, great coach, strong defense. Lou Monroe is a W team with a new quarterback who's not very good. Love the Army here. We're only laying 7.5 down to 1.5. You think they're going to stop Army with that fucking offense that nobody can stop? And Army's back. They got the defense. Their quarterback's back. And Lou Monroe with the new quarterback. I mean, this is going to be a nightmare. Go Army, beat Lou Monroe. That's all I can say. Tennessee, Virginia. Tennessee laying 28. Milton, the quarterback from Michigan, played in the bowl game and a few games at the end when Hooker got hurt. Virginia with the new quarterback. Virginia absolutely sucks. No offense. Decent defense. Tennessee, it's all scheme. It's all Heupel. Josh Heupel, like the offensive coordinator went like he was the one who put Hooker, made Hooker the superstar quarterback. It was Heupel. I mean, it's obvious. Heupel's the offensive guru, just like the TCU guy, Dykes, just like the SMU guy. I mean, you go down the list. It's not the coordinators doing it. So it's a big number, 28. We don't know what Virginia's got. Tennessee's going to light it up with Milton. He already played a few games last year, so he's seen something. He was recruited by Michigan. He must have something. So I kind of like him, but I'm kind of, they're at Virginia laying 28. It's a tough call to take Tennessee here. Virginia's not, it's not Arkansas State or anything. Bowling Green, Liberty. Bowling Green, a W team, a new quarterback. Liberty, an even team, has the coach from Coastal Carolina, and they got Bennett or something, or Bachman. They got the Boise quarterback. That's Louisiana Tech. They got Bennett or something. I wrote it too small. But Liberty's got the Coastal Carolina coach. We know how explosive they were, so he runs a really strong offense. Bowling Green sucks. No defense. I don't know how many games it'll take, but look for Liberty to be like Coastal Carolina, very explosive. So, again, you look at the coach, very strong coach. So we'll keep our eye open on Liberty. I don't know if I'll take them week 1, but I keep my eye on them. L-Tech and SMU. L-Tech got the Boise quarterback, and that's it. Same coach. SMU's quarterback, Mordecai, who they got from Oklahoma, is now at Wisconsin with Fickle, a whole different Wisconsin team. They got a guy named Stone who's a really good quarterback. And coach is still there. They're going to put up 50 points. Good receivers. Look for SMU to kill them here. And Beckenmeyer sucked at Boise. I don't see him doing any good. We'll watch him. We'll see how many they get against Florida International on the 26th. But I like SMU with that offense. They're just it might be an over. I got over circled, but I think it's mostly SMU putting up 50 and then L-Tech putting a little up. East Carr in Michigan. East Carr, an over team with a new quarterback, good coach. Michigan with an A, and their quarterback returns, who I don't really like. He's not that good. I don't know why they think he's like each conference has first team Big Ten, second team Big Ten. They got him first team Big Ten, and I'm like, you got to be kidding. He's not that good. Can they handle 35? Well, they're just going to pound the ball. They'll run. They got some good defense. It'll probably be, now that I'm looking at it and a new quarterback, I'd say 42-7 if they score it all. It's probably a good under. Michigan without a real good quarterback, going to run, play their defense. Yeah, this should probably be an under. Although you never know, they get turnovers and they can get to 50. Fresno State, Purdue. I don't know what I got here. Fresno State, I can't read it. Oh, they got a new coach. He's the defensive coach. Or is Walter? No. Purdue got the defensive coach, Walters, but they don't have a quarterback. They're laying 7.59. Fresno State, they got Mikey Keene. That's what I think. Fresno State picks up Mikey Keene, who was at UCF, is now their quarterback to replace Hayner. Same coach, although their good coach went on to Washington. Purdue got a new coach, Walters, who's a defensive coach, and they don't have a quarterback. I like Fresno State here, getting 12.5. I think that's a joke. Purdue doesn't have an offense and a defensive coach. He's not going to stop Keene from UCF, so I definitely like Fresno State to win the game straight out. You get 12.5 points. Like that one. Utah State, Iowa. Utah State's a W. Got Legis back. He's the quarterback. Iowa, under City. The Michigan quarterback from 2 years ago is now the Iowa quarterback. Clifford, I think's his name. Now, the other one, the Michigan quarterback went to Illinois. Wasn't too bad. Then I think another one went to like Mac, and he wasn't too bad. So these Michigan quarterbacks, Harbaugh's, I don't know, he's on drugs. You don't know what he's doing. But I think Iowa will be much better with this Michigan quarterback. I never thought he was bad. But Utah State with Legis. Again, I think this is an under. How the fuck's Iowa a 48? You go under 54. Where are the points coming? Even if this Michigan guy is good, Utah State ain't going to do shit. This 24-0. I mean, a typical Iowa game. So go under with Iowa. Ball State, Kentucky. Now we've got new quarterback, Hatcher. He was on Arkansas State, and then I think he went to some other school. He was fairly good against Kentucky, who's got the NC State quarterback. Went to Kentucky. So Kentucky's an under team before with Levis, strong defense. The quarterback's not that good. Ball State, Hatcher's not going to be that good. I look for this game to be under. Kentucky, very strong defense. Ball State doesn't really have the offense to do anything. They'll be lucky to get 10 points here. 31-3 type of game. Colorado, TCU. Colorado, new quarterback, Prime Jr., new coach, Prime Time. TCU, lane 21-61, new quarterback who's supposed to be very good. He was the starter last year and got hurt. He had actually beat Duggan out. Thank God he got hurt, because then Duggan got him to the championship game. So look for them not to have a drop. Their defense will be very strong, and they replaced a lot of the running backs and receivers on the portal. So if the quarterback who had beaten out Duggan last year is healthy, TCU should be repeating. So lane 21, I don't know. They're all excited about primetime. Like, dude, he played at Jacksonville State. He was coaching against. It's like these guys that take the pitchers out of high school. Dude, they're pitching against high school talent, not big league talent. You don't have a fucking clue what they're going to do. So that's what you have here is you got Primetime's kid with the junior at a Division III team, and now they're going to go up against TCU, went to the championship game, and they're going to light it up? No, I don't think so. So we have to see how Prime does, but TCU is going to kill them in the first week. Arkansas State, Oklahoma. Arkansas State's a W team. very weak new quarterbacks, not good. I think that's where Hatcher went from Arkansas State. Oklahoma's got Dylan Gabriel from UCF. They're explosive. Will they have a defense? The coach is a defensive coach from Clemson, but their defense looked like shit last year. I don't know that it's going to get any better this year, maybe 3 or 4 years down the road. Arkansas State, this is going to be a bloodbath. Oklahoma's going to go up and down the field. Arkansas State's going to stay at the 20 and the 25 the whole game and punt. We hope they don't go for it on 4th down and 10 at their own 20 too often. But I think I got Oklahoma laying the 26. I got over 51. I'll have to get more into it, but Arkansas State stinks, and Oklahoma will be explosive. So I think Oklahoma puts up the 50, and we're looking at 51. So I think either way, you're fine there. Northern Illinois, BC. Northern Illinois was an over team, has Rocky Lombardi from Michigan State as their quarterback. He was last year. I didn't realize how weak their defense was. BC's a Z team laying 10 with a new quarterback. Are you fucking kidding me? Where are they going to get 10 points from? They have a terrible defense. Northern Illinois has got a good offense and Lombardi. BC is a Z team without a quarterback. So let's use logic here. How's BC going to beat them by 16 if we tease it to 16? They can't score, and they don't have a quarterback. And I got a quarterback in Lombardi. I love Northern Illinois, and 16 here is a joke. BC will be lucky to get to 20, and I got 16. I know I'm going to score. They don't have a good defense, and I don't think they mysteriously went from an over team to an under team. Starting now, I don't see a bunch of guys running to Boston College in the transfer portal who are any good, let's say. So Northern Illinois, very live dog there. Akron Temple. Akron is a Z team. Temple's a W team. Both quarterbacks returning, whatever that means. They weren't very good. I don't really have a say in this one. Hard to play Akron, a Z team. Temple, where are they going to score? I don't know. It's probably an under. Where are you going to get points from? All right, second column. South Florida and Western Kentucky. South Florida, an over team, returning quarterback, and Golish is the coach. And I don't know who he is. Against Western Kentucky, a B team. Reed is the quarterback, really strong quarterback. Very strong team, a B team. They score 30, give up like 20. South Florida, very strong offense last year and a very terrible defense. I look for Western Kentucky to be able to score on them and keep them down. So I like Western Kentucky laying 7 here. Over under 57, I think you could get a high-scoring game because South Florida could score, even though Western Kentucky's defense is okay, but Western Kentucky's going to light them up. Good quarterback and no defense. So Western Kentucky will be in the 40s. South Florida maybe gets into the 20s. Over under 57, we need 51. So that looks very doable probably by the third quarter. Ohio State, 28-63, an A team, kind of. I don't love their defense. Indiana is a Z team this year. No quarterback, no defense. A new quarterback who's a freshman. Good luck going against Ohio State. And Ohio State has the new quarterback. And as I say, plug and play. He'll throw 40 touchdowns and 5 interceptions because it's the system. So I love Ohio State here. I think they're going to kill them, especially after last year's Notre Dame game when they looked like shit. Ryan Day lost to Michigan 2 in a row, is going to lose his job if he doesn't run the table here. And you're facing a Z team in Indy, no defense. So Ohio State's going to run up, and this is going to be 42-0 at half, Ohio State. And it's just how long, since it's a new quarterback, he probably plays at least 3.5 quarters. And then they get the backup out there. He's going to be throwing the ball. So I look at Ohio State to murder them. I don't know if they'll get to 63 by themselves, but they'll definitely cover the 28. So when you have a new quarterback who's a freshman, and you have no defense, you're not going to score and you're not going to stop Ohio State, who is pissed off. So definitely like Ohio State minus 22 here. Boise and Washington, very interesting game. Boise's an A team, very strong defense, and Washington is an over team. They're laying 16, over under a 60. You got Green for Boise, who coached, and there was two. I'll read you the two, Bobby. So we've got Ohio State. So their quarterbacks. Kyle McCord's a junior and Devin Brown is a sophomore. Let's see. Junior Kyle McCord is the odds-on favorite to win the opening competition and quarterback, but Devin Brown will be ready if McCord can't seize the moment. Then it gets into the running back. So you don't really say a lot about the quarterbacks. I don't think either of them played. So that's what you got. But I'm sure they're fine because it's a system and it's just count the guys on the line. And if there's 8, we're going to throw. And if there's 7, we're going to run. Okay, now you know how to court for Ohio State. Good luck being drafted number 1. Oh, yeah, but when you get into the pros, none of this is gonna help you. Just ask Fields and and Stroud and J.T. Barrett and Herb Kirkstreet and all that shit. Okay, Boise, Washington. So Boise, very strong running team. Green, okay, quarterback. Penix, we've got. Washington's going to be very explosive with DeBoer, the Fresno State coach who made Haener a superstar. Penix, very strong. They're at home. Boise, though, has a strong defense. We must be careful. Boise's not bad. They're an A team. It's not who we want to fuck with Washington. It can be very competitive. They might still win by 10. I think I like Washington. I like Washington in the over, but Boise's got a strong defense. But I don't think it's going to stop Washington and Penix at home. So if I was leaning, I would lean towards the 10 or over 54. Because I think Boise realizes they got to score against Washington. So even though they're an under defense, not against this team, this type of team. So if you're an under defense, let's look at Utah, UCLA. Both were under defenses last year. They played each other 44-40. USC wasn't, but UCLA was an under defense, played USC 40 points. They played Washington, another 80-point game, but they look like an under defense. They gave up 20 a game, but gave up 38 to Washington, and they beat Utah, and they was a 40-point game with USC. So at the end of the day, I think Washington can still light up Boise. So after my analysis, I just thought of, I kind of like Washington laying the 10 or over 54. I think both are pretty good plays here. UMass and Auburn. Sorry, Bobby. Let me read yours. Kellen Moore, the Lions never used him. And Boise, Kellen. Feels like Ohio State always has new quarterbacks. Well, they all leave to go to the pros after 2 years. And then actually, since Fields probably has some, has some eligibility, he should go back. These kids never do 4 years of college anymore. Well, that's because they get drafted after, I think they have to do 3. Well, they usually redshirt and then they do the 2. Who was the quarterback that Ohio State fucked up with? Yeah, Joe Burrow. Can you imagine they took Fields over Joe Burrow? I think it was Fields. What the fuck this is the problem with Ohio State. You got Joe Burrow on your team, and you let him go to LSU, and you keep your little option guy. I think it was JT Barrett. This is what's unbelievable. You had Joe Burrow, the next Joe Montana, and you let him walk. Are you out of your fun? You cannot judge talent. This is why you cannot take these Ohio State guys. They play 1 year and think they're Tom Brady. Well, and then we see how good they are in the pros. You think Fields will throw for 35% this year? He'll run for 25 touchdowns. He'll throw for 1. It is unbelievable. Okay. UMass and Auburn. UMass, Z team, terrible team, new quarterback. They're in big duty. Auburn, even team with an over. Ashford is quarterback. Hugh Freeze is the new coach. And he's trying to change the offense because obviously they were 11th in the SEC in offense. They suck. But so now this is the new formula. We'll bring in a high-octane coach like Miami of Florida. They're bringing in the air raid. There's a few others. Texas State's bringing in the air raid. So the team sucks. So they go, well, we'll go to the air raid and at least we can score points. Our defense will still suck. And we still won't win any games, but we'll score a lot more points. We'll turn into over teams. So it doesn't bother me, but this is the new, we don't want to go to defense. Well, except for Illinois. I'll give Illinois and Washington State and Minnesota credit. They are going to unders very strong. So Auburn has Ashford, who sucks, and Hugh Freeze, good coach. Laying 38. UMass is so bad, though, but I can't lay 38 with Auburn. Maybe they turn it on with Freeze, but we got to see. Rice in Texas. Rice, W team, over defense. Texas is going to score like 100 points in this game. A team now, they lost their running back, Bijan Robinson. Ewers is still listed as the starter over Manning Jr., and he's solid quarterback, so I don't have no problem there. What'll happen is normally, like Clemson fucked me when Lawrence, they'd take him out in the third quarter and bring in Uglia-Buglia, and Uglia-Buglia would throw 3 interceptions and fuck me because they're up 28 points and I'm laying 20, and Uglia-Buglia just don't do anything, and he kept throwing interceptions and he couldn't score. He did shit. So I got fucked. But here, when they take Ewers out, they're going to put in Manning Jr., and then they're going to keep scoring. So I look for Texas with this to blow out Rice by 50 points, easy. Over under a 59. I like the 29. I like Texas laying 29. They'll murder them. And when they get into the third quarter and they're up 52-0, and Manning's going to put up another 20. So must think backup quarterback in the Texas Rice games. Buffalo and Wisconsin. Buffalo over team. Wisconsin, I'm going to call them a A team, not an under team. They are now Cincinnati. And Buffalo with Snyder, quarterback, is returning. They scored a lot. Their defense wasn't good. You got Luke Fickell as the coach, so this is Cincinnati, but they're going to run the air raid, and they're going to do it with Mordecai, the SMU quarterback who was at Oklahoma, couldn't make it, goes to SMU, lights it up for 1,000 touchdowns. And now he's at Wisconsin with Fickell running a passing offense. I don't know who Wisconsin is this year, but they're still going to have that dynamite defense. They got a 1,400-yard rusher, and you got Mordecai. So this is going to look like Russell Wilson when they put up 45 points a game. I am not fucking with Buffalo in this game, and I can't fuck with the under with Mordecai and an explosive offense and a strong defense. I got to go to Wisconsin here, lay the 18, because they're gonna score a lot, and they get Ohio State like week 4 or week 5. They're gonna play Ohio State. That's going to be a very interesting game because Ohio State does not have the defense to handle Mordecai. Finally, Wisconsin gets a quarterback. So let's look for big things out of Wisconsin. It's a big number against Buffalo, but now we understand why. And then Fickell Fickle had a hard time covering with Cincinnati. They'd be laying 17 to Tulsa and not cover with Ritter and everything. So I got to be careful with Pickle. Mordecai's from SMU from Oklahoma. So he was at Oklahoma, third string, goes to SMU, and SMU's guy plays 1 year and goes to the pros. And then he bails to go to Wisconsin for Fickle, which makes sense. SMU's got a good quarterback anyway, and so they should light it out. He's a pocket passer. It's SMU. You know how they throw. So he's a good quarterback. Cal in Texas. Cal's a W team, new coach, new quarterback, not new coach, new quarterback who sucks. North Texas is an over team with a new quarterback, new coach in Morse. Leach. Oh, he was Leach's assistant. So you know what you're getting in North Texas. You're getting You're getting Leach, who was the Washington State and Texas Tech coach. So this should be a strong passing offense for North Texas. I love them as a dog here. You got a new quarterback, but you got a coach from the Mike Leach school against Cal who has no defense and a new quarterback. How the fuck are they going to beat them by 15 points? The game's at North Texas, and they're running the Mike Leach offense. North Texas should win this game. At least you get 15 and a half. I don't know if Cal can score 15 and a half on them. Both teams have shit defenses, so you might get an over, but I can see a 31-30 game here. I don't know. How's Cal going to stop North Texas? They don't have a defense. Nevada, USC, this could be a lock. Nevada's a Z team with a new quarterback. They suck. USC, now I told you to watch them against San Jose State. They're going to light up San Jose State, but San Jose State's going to light them up too with their quarterback. But in Nevada, they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a defense. USC's laying 38. I love USC laying 32 here. Here, USC's going to kill. They have a game under their belt, provided everybody's fairly healthy. They're going to blow out Nevada because this is what we want. They're playing a Z team with no defense, and they'll have that game under their belt. They're going to kill them. They'll cover in the second quarter. I mean, this is going to be 60-something to nothing. At home, they're going to score. It's college football. You need to score. Look for USC strong against Nevada. Game of the week, UTSA and Houston. Houston's laying 2.5, 65. You got a new quarterback and a new coach, Wendell from Texas Tech. So they'll be passing against Frank Harris, my man from UTSA, in his 6th year. I mean, these guys are like playing a whole career in college. This guy's a great quarterback. They're an over team. Houston's an over team. They score a lot, give up a lot. We got Frank Harris getting 8.5 against a new quarterback. I love UTSA here. They're the better team. They're getting points. Texas, San Antonio, Houston, they're both Texas. They're not going to stop them. Frank Harris will go crazy. UTSA is a very strong team. They're not – I never heard of them. This is a very strong team. So is Houston, but I think the edge goes to Frank Harris. So look for UTSA to win straight out. You got 8.5. Texas State and Baylor. Texas State's an under team with a bad defense. Baylor is very good. Chapin's back for Baylor. Good news. Texas State's got a new quarterback. Their coach is Ken, but they're bringing in the air raid offense with no defense. So they're turning Texas State into an over team. Score a lot, no defense. Baylor laying 26, over under 56. Are they ready for Baylor in first game of the air raid? It's not like Baylor doesn't see Texas Tech every year and TCU and Oklahoma. They see the air raid a lot, so I don't think that'll surprise them. I like to Baylor lay the 20. They're going to murder them. Texas State won't stop them. And Baylor's got a pretty good defense, and they know they'll just pressure the quarterback. Unless we get fucked at the end, Baylor should win by 35 or so in this one. You can't play Baylor with no defense. You're not going to stop them, especially at home, first game. New Mexico and A&M. New Mexico, W team with an under defense and a new quarterback. A&M's an under, laying 39 with a new quarterback. Both have strong defenses, and neither has an offense. I love this game under. It's 48. You go under 54. Where's the points coming? And both teams have strong defenses. So don't kid yourself there. New Mexico, very strong defensively. And we know A&M is. They held Alabama to 20 points, 24. So you play Alabama to a 44. What are you going to play New Mexico to, a 24? I don't see how in the world they're laying 39 here. Are you out of your fucking – what has A&M got that's going to score 39 points? Just play the under, and maybe it's 27-0. I mean, that's how I see this game playing out. They're not going to score a lot on New Mexico. Washington State, a B team, very strong defense. With Ward, he's a weak quarterback. I didn't like him. He's one of these guys from what was it? One of those Division II type of teams. He didn't do anything last year against Colorado State, who's a Z team. Millen is their quarterback, is back, no defense. So they score a lot. So Washington State, he's from Incarnate Ward or something, or whatever. Incarnate is the quarterback, but he's more of a runner, Bobby. He reminds me of Daniels from LSU. He can't hit the broadside of a barn. But Washington State got that shutdown defense, and their two best defensive edge rushers are back. So look for Washington State to have that solid defense again. The coach is still there. So I'd lay 10 with Washington State. Colorado State, where are they going to score? I think Millen was on Washington, but he sucked there, if it's the same Millen. Texas Tech, 14-56. We got Shaw back for Texas Tech and Peasley back for Wyoming. Peasley sucks, didn't do anything. Tech, Shaw was an over. Again, you got an over team against an under team. Wyoming, they'll hold them a little, but I can't imagine you're holding Texas Tech that they can't run these quick little passes, and good luck stopping them. It'll just be in the red zone. If they can't run the ball, they'll have to kick field goals. But I think Tech -8 is a good play. I don't know which way to go because Wyoming has a good defense, but it could be like the USC, UCLA, Utah defense. Utah's got a great defense, but you're giving up 40 points to USC, so I don't see how Texas Tech doesn't put 30 on the board, and I don't see where Wyoming's getting that. So it's a tough game, but it's probably take Tech -8. Middle Tennessee State and Alabama. Middle Tennessee State's an over team with a new quarterback, good coach, no quarterback. Alabama's an A team, except they have a new quarterback, and he's weak. He's not good. He's a freshman. Oh, my God, what's Alabama going to do? They don't have a good quarterback, and they have a passing offense. They're fucked this year. Yet they have Alabama ranked third. Good luck there. They'll be running the ball a lot because they can't throw. How the hell are they going to cover 38? Over under a 56. So this should be an Army-Navy game. Alabama's going to run the ball 40 times because they cannot throw. This quarterback is very weak from what I saw in the little article. Middle Tennessee State's quarterback's new, so you're not going to get a lot of points. I think Middle Tennessee State gets shut out. I think Alabama runs the ball more. Some passing. Maybe the guy loosens up in the third quarter, fourth quarter. But I think this game is going to be closer to 38. It's not the normal Alabama going to blow you out, throwing 50 times a game, receivers wide open all over the field. Of course, it only happens in college, not in the pros. This is what I don't understand. You look at these Alabama quarterbacks, and the receivers are wanting wide open, and the guy hits them, and oh, what a great quarterback. Yeah, show me that in the pros where the receivers are open by 15 yards. What are you kidding me? So that's why they're not that good in the pros. The receivers don't get open because they're not playing Arkansas State and New Mexico State. So here, I doubt Alabama covers 38. It's probably an under game because a new quarterback from Middle Tennessee State does not want to face this Alabama defense, knowing they don't have offense from their quarterback. So look for a lower scoring game than the normal 60-point Alabama win. West Virginia and Purdue, two new quarterbacks. West Virginia was an over team, and Penn State was an A team. Now Clifford's gone, and a lot of defense is gone. The new quarterback, who knows? West Virginia, new quarterback. I changed. I kind of like Penn State. Now I like West Virginia. I think they'll score on Penn State, and they're getting 19. They get 25. So I've kind of went a little bit taking West Virginia. Again, with the new quarterbacks, you don't really know what you're getting, but I think the West Virginia quarterback's pretty good, even though he's new. So I took West Virginia in the border war getting 25. We will see. Toledo, Illinois. We got Finn back for Toledo, Illinois, a new quarterback, a new running back, a super strong defense. They are an under team. Toledo's an over team, but not against Illinois. They're not an over team. Now, Finn is a good quarterback in the MAC. Keep it in the MAC. Illinois lane 10. I don't know if they're going to cover that, but 53 over under with this defense. So this is Wisconsin. This is Brett Bielema goes to Arkansas. I don't know what the fuck he's doing against Alabama, Georgia, LSU. Now he's back playing Wisconsin ball in the Big Ten. Strong defense, strong running. Look for this game to be very low scoring. 53 over under in an Illinois game. Go under 59. That's a joke. I won't get anywhere near there. South Carolina and North Carolina. We've got Spencer Rattler, the old Oklahoma quarterback for South Carolina, and Derek May for North Carolina, who fucked us over on the over in the Clemson game. And I think in the bowl game, he fucked us over. North Carolina's laying 1.5, 62. Love the over here. Love South Carolina getting 7.5. There's no way South Carolina should be the dog here. There's no way this game doesn't go over 56. These are both over teams, both good quarterbacks, no defense. How in the hell does this not hit 56 by the third quarter? This is going to be one of those 50-point first halves, and we're going to need one touchdown the whole second half. And then they'll tease us with 2 field goals, and then finally, late in the third quarter, they'll score 3 touchdowns. And I love how that happens. We sweat it out. We need one more score, and then they punt, they fumble, and then finally, 8 minutes left in the game, boom, 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 3 touchdowns, and you're worried about the over, and then they get there 5 times. South Alabama, Tulane. Huntley for South Alabama, and Pratt's back for Tulane. So both quarterbacks are back. Both teams are A teams. Both teams strong defenses. Over under of 60, and Tulane's laying 7. I like South Alabama in the 13, and I like it over. Again, these quarterbacks are very strong. South Alabama played UCLA 31-30 in the Rose Bowl. UCLA had to kick a field goal with 3 seconds left to beat them. So they traveled to UCLA. This is going to Tulane, not a big deal. Very strong team. South Alabama is very much like UTSA. Again, you don't know these teams. I do. Very strong team. This should be a very close game, but it should be high scoring. That's the problem. Even though they have strong defenses, it's kind of like, who are they playing? Because if you play a strong quarterback, you're not going to stop them. There ain't no way Buffalo's stopping Aaron Rodgers, and there ain't no way Buffalo's stopping Bobby's guy. What the fuck? Mahomes, right? It ain't going to happen. You're not stopping Burrows. You're not stopping Mahomes. You're not stopping Rodgers. So when you get good quarterbacks, they will beat the defense most of the time, unless it's Lawrence Taylor or Reggie White or one of those incredible defensive teams. Ray Lewis, the quarterback's going to win. So we like this game should be close. We like the dog or we like the over. Your choice. Old D and Virginia Tech. Old D's a W team, Old Dominion. W team, weak defense, new quarterback. Virginia Tech, an under team with a returning quarterback that you're wondering why. Nobody in the transfer portal would dare go to Virginia Tech. They're laying, what do I got, 12.5, over under 51. I like the game under because I don't know where the scoring's coming from. Virginia Tech has no offense, pretty good defense. Old D has no offense. Old D's going to get shut out. Virginia Tech maybe puts up 20. How the hell are you going to get to 51, kick it up 6-57? New quarterback, so Old D's not going to – so there's not going to be scoring in the game. My point, how are you going to get to 57? So I like this game under. Coastal Carolina and UCLA. Sort of like the Jets, right, Bobby? UCLA laying 15, over under is 67. And my man is back. McCall is still on Coastal Carolina. He did go into the transfer portal, and then he changed his mind, said nobody wanted him. How like a Michigan didn't get this guy. They're out of their fucking minds. He's so much better than the Michigan guy. Anyway, McCall still at Coastal Carolina. Very strong offense, very weak defense. UCLA, new quarterback, not a problem. He'll be strong. UCLA's defense. This is going to be UCLA, Utah. No, this is going to be UCLA, USC. 43-40 and 83. We got a 67. This 61 will be halftime because McCall is going to light them up. UCLA will light them up because they have the system offense and the coach. Look for this game to be in the 80s at least, maybe the 90s. 43-41, something in that neighborhood. They're not going to stop McCall. They don't have the defense to stop him, and he's back. They got a new coach in Beck. I don't know where he's from. I don't care. Just get out of his way. Don't change the offense. You got McCall, and I actually think it's a pretty good offense. So love this game over. Love that McCall came back because now I was wondering, I didn't think he got drafted. What a draft this is going to be next year. McCall, Hartman, Van Dyke, and then you got Penix, you got Nix, you got Williams, you got Rising, you got Oklahoma, you got the Texas guy, you got Kansas has a great quarterback, Kansas State, Will Howard, you got Baylor might come out, I don't know, Texas Tech. Fuck, you this is going to be probably the best quarterback class you've ever seen. I mean, you probably got 15 Pro Bowl quarterbacks coming out. This is going to be unbelievable next year. I wondered why, like, McCall didn't come out, and why Hartman didn't come out, and why, Rising didn't come out. It didn't really make sense, and they're all fucking themselves because this is going to be like 15 good quarterbacks, and they're going to undervalue Rising. So watch a team like, I don't know, some good team. Seattle gets Rising or 49ers get Rising. Look for a really good team to get Rising because they want to undervalue him. You think Brock Purdy's good. Rising's 20 times better. Look out. And whoever gets them is just, they shoot right into the playoffs. Now you put them on the Bears and you'll see the difference between Fields and Rising, right? Fields can't complete a pass. Rising goes to the Bears. All of a sudden, he's completing passes all over. Everybody's catching. He doesn't need the new receivers to be a superstar. I mean, that's like Joe Burrow. He's got Chase, but he knows what to do with Chase. So keep that in mind. Northwestern, Rutgers. Both teams suck. Both teams are under. Neither team gets like 300 yards on offense in the game. Both quarterbacks are new. Love this game under 47, under 53. They could play 8 quarters and they wouldn't get the 53. This game goes 20-17. I'd be shocked if they scored that much. That's 37. We need under 53. This is a piece of cake. Oregon State 16-56 against San Jose State. Again, San Jose State with the very good quarterback. Oregon State's got Uglia Buglia. And it's amazing how they like Uglia Buglia. I guess they don't watch the same games we watch. What I saw with Uglia Buglia was a guy that he had his head up his fucking ass. He had no idea what he's doing. He goes to Oregon State, all of a sudden, he's got better talent than he had at Clemson, a better offensive coordinator, a better line, better receivers, better running backs, and he's going to do better at Oregon State than he did at Clemson. Why do I find that extremely – that's like they'll raise interest rates, that'll kill inflation. Well, why am I struggling with this piece? So Oregon State 16 over San Jose State. Now, again, San Jose State is probably going to be an over team. Very good quarterback. I don't know if their defense will be that strong. They got a rough start, USC and Oregon State. Oregon State's an under defense. That should stay. Uglia Buglia ain't going to score, which leads you to over under a 56. So I do like it under because it's Oregon State. We'll see what San Jose State does with SC. If they light them up for a 30 or they get 13 on them. But if they don't score on SC, they're not going to score on Oregon State. They still have the strong defense, and they still don't have a quarterback. In fact, the quarterback is the backup from last year is better than Uglia Buglia. So you'll see. So we can pray that Uglia Buglia gets injured so the other guy can come in, and then they'll be better. Bobby Bo. Where's my boy Van Dyke from Miami? He's on Miami. Van Dukes. Yeah, they can play 8 quarters and they won't get to 53. That's Rutgers and that's Rutgers and Northwestern for you. That's my point. If you took the Ohio State, if you took C.J. Stroud and put him on Rutgers or Northwestern, he ain't going to have 45 and 8. He's going to have 20 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and you'll never hear of him. That's what I'm saying. The Ohio State thing's the system, not it's not the talent. Van Dyke is on Miami. I assume you're talking Van Dyke. He's on Miami, and they go into an air raid offense. So I think we're going to see 2 years ago Van Dyke, where he's going to throw for 45 touchdowns, and they're going to score 45 points a game. And Vegas ain't aware of it. What's Miami? Miami starts off with a 51. So you watch. They won't adjust it. Miami scores 40-some points a game with Van Dyke if they're going to run the air raid. We'll be betting them over every week, and Vegas is too stupid to adjust it. It'll keep it in the 50s, and Miami will get to the 50 by themselves, and we'll just keep cashing the over with Van Dyke. They will put the whole stadium to sleep with their 3 and outs. Well, yeah, it's a tough ticket, right? It'll probably be on the Big Ten network. Who watches that? Oh, my God. All right, so we like the under Oregon State, Washington State, Iowa, Illinois, Georgia, LSU, Florida State, Bobby's game. This is going to be a tough one, Bobby. Both quarterbacks are back. LSU's ranked 6th. Florida State's ranked 7th. This is not a bad Florida State team. These are both A teams, both strong defenses. I got to take the dog. I got to take Florida State in 8.5. I know you're taking LSU plus 3.5. Over under a 57. It's hard to say. It'll be a 50-point game. 2 good quarterbacks. But I can't take LSU in 3.5. Now, make LSU the dog I can play him. But, again, this is a neutral site bowl game. Yeah, I know you're going with LSU. But good luck, Bobby. You got Daniels, and you don't have Boucher anymore. Last claim, Clemson, Duke. Clemson and Duke, both A teams. Clemson, new quarterback. He was up and down. He played the bowl game, and he sucked. Duke, I like their guy. He's very good. He's like Jefferson So one of the best quarterbacks in college, which I didn't mention, was Arkansas's Jefferson. He's a kind of an option runner, but he's a very good thrower, just like the guy Pratt at Tulane, just like Thompson Robinson at UCLA, and like the Duke guy. The Duke guy is kind of sneaky and he can run, but he's a very good passer. Clemson's laying 12.56. The quarterback, who knows, Duke, pretty good team. You get 18. It wouldn't surprise me if they played them well. How good's Clemson? They're on the downward spiral. I don't. They got a lot of portal help, which is really trouble because the guys got to fit, right? You can't just bring guys in. They got the chemistry and everything else. So I don't know. I'm not loving Clemson with this quarterback who sucked in the bowl game, cost us money. And Duke's quarterback's great. I mean, he beat Miami, beat North Carolina. So I think he beat Pittsburgh. I think he's a very good. He's like the Kansas quarterback. Really like the Kansas quarterback. I don't know if he'll be out, but this guy's good. Now a moment. So here I like Duke in the 18. I think again, new quarterback for Clemson. Pretty much defense is supposed to be good, but it was supposed to be good last year. And I like Duke's offense, although it's a tough game. It's hard to play at Clemson, but we do get 18. I think it's a good number to take Duke with. Now, the one team that doesn't play that we didn't talk about is our Georgia team. They are fucking loaded defensively again. I doubt they'll give up more than the 10 a game they did 2 years ago. Absolutely loaded, too deep. Linebacker, secondary, all Americans all over the place. Brock Bowers, best play, should win the Heisman Trophy as the tight end, who's unbelievable. Good running backs, good receivers. But they need Stetson Bennett to be replaced. They've got a couple of guys. I'll read you the Georgia. Let's go to Athlon and see what the fuck this guy says about my Georgia team. See, the all-SC guy is Jefferson from Arkansas. He's the number one quarterback in my SEC. And by the way, they got Georgia going. They got Georgia going 15-0 here. So looking at Georgia's schedule, there's my man Brock Bowers. Best, and he's more than a tight end. He's a very good receiver. It's very fast. He's a stud. I just hope he doesn't go to the Lions. Let him go to San Francisco. Or he'd be better. He's better than Kelsey, and he's better than the Kittle at Frisco. I don't know who would be, but maybe he'll go to Cincinnati. That would be great. So they start with UT Martin, then they get Ball State. I'm talking Georgia, South Carolina, UAB. Then they go at Auburn, home to Kentucky, at Vandy, the neutral site with Florida, Missouri, Old Mississippi, at Tennessee, and Georgia Tech. I mean, they're going to win every game by 40 points there. This is what kind of schedule is this? This is a joke. UT Martin. See, I don't get how they get UT Martin on their schedule. Fucking Georgia. You win 2 national titles, you got to schedule UT Martin. And then Ball State, okay, at least they're MAC. And then UAB. South Carolina's at least SEC. So let's read the quarterback. Carson Beck's a junior and Brock Vandergraaf's a sophomore. The Stetson Bennett era is over at Georgia and has set a pretty high bar. Yeah, back-to-back national titles will do that. The Bulldogs have a full-fledged quarterback battle on their hands. Carson Beck and Brock Vandegrift battled it out in the spring, and they'll continue to do so in the fall. That means neither of them are very good because neither of them showed it, and they're battling it out like, well, who can win? Whoever wins the job will have plenty of weapons. So doesn't sound like it's Joe Montana, right? The Bulldogs bring back Brock Bowers, the nation's top tight end. and the best player in the country, some serious receiver with Ladd McConkey returning. Georgia dipped into the transfer portal and got leading receivers from Mississippi State and Missouri. They are expected to make large impacts in Athens, and then there's the offensive line where Georgia continues to reload. The Bulldogs returned 4 guys with starting experience, so they're going to run the ball more. Defense, believe it or not, 2022 was a rebuilding year. It's always start out front where grizzled veterans Zion Logue, Nazar Stackhouse, Trammell Wathor, and Warren Brinson are back. They got 4 guys on the defensive line. Younger guys like Tyron Dawkins are expected to have a massive impact, while Michael Williams, who missed most of spring after relatively minor foot surgery, is the bench of the bunch. The Bulldogs are ultra green at the outside linebacker and will likely have to lean on some young pass rushers. But the inside linebacker spot is loaded with returning starters, Johnson and Munden. The secondary returns 3 starters, including Peach Bowl national champ game MVP, J-Hod. I mean, it just keeps getting better and better. They'll get ironed out. So their only problem is outside linebacker, which – what are you going to – believe me, the guys they recruit, I'll handle it. Final analysis, Georgia isn't going anywhere. The back-to-back champs are just as talented as they've been the past 2 seasons, if not more. That's what stacking elite recruiting classes on top of each other will do for you from a roster standpoint. Ultimately, we'll come down to the quarterback battle. The Bulldogs are going to make history with a 3-peat. Inexperience is an issue, but the staff is confident and the guys battling it out. Well, what are they going to say? Georgia should field another elite defense to go with big play offense and a piece of cake schedule. So at worst case, well, yeah, they do. They play Tennessee Martin. So I don't pay attention if they're not playing Division I. I'm not saying I don't trust your team, Bobby. I'm saying that I trust Florida State. It's an even game. I take the dog. That's just the way, that's the way I play. I'm not fucking around with a team like Florida State, loaded, strong defense. And I don't like Daniels, the quarterback for LSU. It's not whatchamacallit. It's not Joe Burrow. If it's Joe Burrow, I'd take LSU over everybody. I did. When Joe Burrow was there, I took him over Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State, everybody they played, I took him. But Daniels, he runs too much, and Florida State's too athletic. I think it's a close game. So I'm taking the dog. Now, if Florida State goes favorite, I'll take LSU. But it's not that I don't trust them. I just, you got to be smart and look at Florida State and go, they're a pretty strong team. I would find a different game to unload on LSU, Bobby. So Georgia's not playing. Yeah, they are again, Tennessee Martin. So with that analysis of Georgia, this should be another under team because they're going to have the quarterback's questionable, right? He's not Joe Montana, so we don't know what we got. Chances are they're going to play to their defense in their running game, which is going to eat the clock up. So look for them to not take too many chances, even though they got Brock Bowers and great running backs and good receivers. And a killer defense, right? Great defensive line, great middle linebackers, and a great secondary. So look for Georgia to be smart. We're not going to fuck around and throw a lot of interceptions and not let our defense win our games, which means there'll be under games because we're just going to run and punt and play defense. Nobody will get a first down on us. So why fuck around? And they'll be lower scoring. They'll win every game 20-0. So Georgia is going to be heavily under bet. And they'll probably be laying the 55s that they've been laying. Now, if Georgia goes and starts laying 39s, okay. But if they're still in the 50s, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for Iowa State in the 50s, Washington State, Illinois, I think it's a 51. But Illinois is a 53. That's what we're looking for, that under team in the 50s. So hopefully Georgia will still be a 53, which I think they will be. We've got, let's see, Washington State's a 60 with that defense against Colorado State. That's an under. Iowa is a 48. That's a little bit lower. And then I think we look at the overs in Texas Rice, UTSA Houston, Baylor's an over. Tulane, South Alabama's an over. LSU, you might bet it over, Bobby. Utah's going to murder Florida. I can't wait for that. I know Nick wants revenge on it. He didn't tease it. I teased it, so I won with Utah in 3.5 last year. But I think Nick took it straight and Utah lost. Minnesota, that's a good under, 46 with Nebraska. And then you got to love Army. Army and Utah, what? Just play them straight. I love those. See, Bobby, you should play the Army-Utah teaser. I don't know if you play teasers. And stop fucking with LSU. Bet a small bet because it's LSU, it's your team. But the real money's got to go on Army and Utah and the over in the Ohio State game and the Texas, and then go over UTSA and Tulane, and that's how you've got to bet the easy ones over. I mean, you can't pass up Army laying 1 point to Lou Monroe or New Mexico State laying 3 to fucking Massachusetts. We could probably get 12, 20, 24 students here and beat UMass. Anyway, that UMass sucks. New Mexico State's pretty fucking good, and you're only laying 9. Anyway, that's what you need to look at that. Look at the mismatch. Ohio State's going to kill Indiana. Stop fucking with the hard game. LSU, bet it very small, so you have your LSU bet. But this isn't the game to jump on LSU. The game to jump on them is when they play Vanderbilt and when they play them over against Tennessee if they play Tennessee, or bet them as a dog to Alabama. They'll beat Alabama this year. So let's look at. Let's look at LSU's schedule. Okay, so we're in Georgia. And by the way, LSU, they pick. They're tied. They're 6-2 in the West with Alabama. So let's look at LSU. Just for you, Bobby. LSU, Jaden Daniels, good God. So look at their schedule. They open with Florida State. They get Grambling week 2. There won't be a line. Then they go at Mississippi State. Now there you can take them. Arkansas, oh my God, against KJ Jefferson. That game will be over 75 if it's, take him against Ole Miss, take him against Missouri, take him against Auburn. Be careful against my Army team. Be careful. At Alabama, there'll be a dog there you want to load up. Florida, they got a pretty good schedule here. Army, Alabama, and Florida. Florida, well, they should kill Florida. Georgia State, that's an easy one, and A&M's an easy one. So don't load up on Florida State. Load up on Ole Miss and Old Missouri and Auburn and Alabama and Florida, Georgia State. Those are the games you want to bet LSU, especially as a dog to Alabama. So you be careful week 1. Be careful against my Army team. Because ain't nobody can handle he should be used to Army because at Notre Dame, he played Navy every year. So he'll know how to defend my Army team, unfortunately. But the only game I see you struggling with is Arkansas with KJ Jefferson. What a quarterback he is. Oh, you got so many good quarterbacks next year. Jesus Christ. Rising, Jefferson, Van Dyke. They're all better than Williams, but you won't believe that. But that's a system quarterback. Like Kyler Murray. How good's he now? Kenzie can be our punter. The whole class can beat UMass. Kenzie sent me some notes. Oh, man, she's afraid the manager's afraid I'm going to beat her up. Okay, you're seriously giving me that shit? How do you want me to react? See, to me, Kenzie's like talking to the communist. I don't have anything to say to the communists. What am I going to say? You read Karl Marx, you're out of your fucking mind. All right. So what's our conversation going to be? I'm trying to prove Austrian economics works and Keynesian and communism doesn't work. I already know that. I don't need to debate it. Kenzie, don't give me this shit. I'm going to beat you up. What is that? Well, maybe if we talked on Skype and you can see me here. Do I look like somebody who's going to beat you up? Teaching economics and football. Do I really come across like I'm going to beat you up? So you can tell me your stories all you want. I got real girls in the Ukraine and Russia to talk to, and talked to Irina today in Romania with the baby. They got her taking all these tests. It's like, Irina, if there's nothing wrong with the baby, don't worry about all these tests. She's all worried. Oh, I hope he doesn't have this and that. I'm like, fuck it. You go in every fucking week for these vaccines. Enough already. She says, if I don't, he won't be able to go to school. I'm like, you got to be kidding. What was her excuse for not sending a simple picture? Her manager wouldn't allow it and she would lose her job. Now, I know other gals, and I've never had a problem getting a picture. Now, that doesn't include Ukrainians and Russians and Romanians, who I got pictures from, and videos and everything else. I got a video today of Irina with the baby. And I've never heard where I can't. The only reason you can't send a picture, let's look at this. Who doesn't want gold to go up? Those people holding dollars, because then their dollar will be worthless. And they'll hold $2 billion of zero. Who doesn't want to send a picture, especially if you're a model, would be because it's not you. Now, how stupid are they? I could grab a picture off the internet of Kenzie and say, I'm Kenzie. I mean, that's my whole point about it. So for her to say, I can't send a picture and I can't call you, well, what's to say you won't harm me? Maybe your manager comes instead of you and tries to rob me. I mean, I'm in the same risk as you are. So if that's your excuse, I don't have anything to say to it. That's absolutely just fucking retarded. So I don't buy it. This is the problem when you meet people online. And so this is what I'm really trying to teach. If you meet somebody online and you should be able to talk to them like I talk to you. You know me, right? So if you saw me at a bar or restaurant or at a game or in Vegas playing poker at the sports book, you know that's the professor. You would know me. You have a general idea. I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to hurt you. I mean, oh, yeah. Oh, Bobby, I'm scared to meet you. You might hurt me. I mean, it's such stupidity. So you would know that, but this is what I'm asking. Just give me a video saying hello, and then I know it's you, but you don't. Come on. I mean, today I get videos from Russia and the Ukraine. Jenna sends me video. Irina sends me with the baby. It's not hard to send a video on WhatsApp, right? It takes 10 seconds. Hi, it's boom. And she won't do it. And she's not even on WhatsApp. She's on Telegram. Another serious strike there. So this is why I'm not responding, and I don't want any. This is why I wasn't on Telegram. I gave her one last chance, and again, she's bullshitting, and I got nothing to. When you get on a plane and come, we'll talk. Until then, I don't want to hear. I don't have time for the bullshit. I got to study. I got gold. I got football. I got my job. I got my girls. I don't really have time for this bullshit for somebody that can't send a picture or a video or call me. Because the manager, what is the manager? Are you in a prison cell where the manager's got like the video watching your moves? Is this what I'm looking at? Is this 24? Jack Bauer's in the Chinese prison? Is that what I'm dealing with here? Where, don't you call your parents? Don't you go out to a bar or a restaurant and see your friends? Do you call them? I mean, how stupid do you think I am? I would buy the professor a shot at Canadian. I'll bring the Canadian Club 12 just for you, Bobby. Although we can't open it. It's not going to be open. But, I mean, that's the point. You guys see me. Would you be scared to meet me? I mean, it's absurd. I don't know. Again, I had that when I met some of the girls in the Ukraine who I met online, and then I flew there and I met them. And they came. Lena would come with her girlfriend, and Carmen came with her sister. And they were all scared. And after 5 minutes with me, they were like, you can go home now. I'm fine. Howard is what I thought he was. Very nice, very loving, very respecting. And if you can't tell that, then I don't want you to come here and waste my time anyway. So that's what it's about. But Kenzie's, I've never met her, so I don't really know what she's really like. And I don't have time for the games. You can't give me a call. You can't send me a picture. Go fuck yourself. I'm not an idiot, and I'm not going to tolerate that. Well, we can meet, Bobby. I could go down to Tampa. We can go to Amsterdam. Did you make plans for Amsterdam yet? I'm getting see, at my job being remote, I can fly to Amsterdam on Friday, get there Saturday, spend 3 weeks there, and just find the Chicago time and work the 8 hours in Amsterdam. That would be like 2 a.m. till 10 a.m, and then go to the red light district and the Van Gogh Museum and everything else, and enjoy Amsterdam after my day. I don't know when I'd sleep. I'd have to go to sleep at like 7 p.m. and get up for 2 a.m. So it'll be a weird day, but actually I'd keep my hours. So whenever it's 8 a.m. here is when it'd be 8 a.m. that I would keep that time. And then I would do what I do and then go to sleep whenever, give me 6 hours of sleep, like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. But I can do that and it won't be a vacation. I could go to Vegas for a month and just do that. I can come down to Florida and work from Florida. This is a beautiful thing, this remote stuff. And it's not that hard for me because I did most of it at Mercedes. So once I really get it down, I could easily go down and kind of work remotely, kind of as a vacation, go to Vegas, work my 8 hours, and then go to Caesars and watch football and play poker and stuff. So I can easily do that. One thing I'm noticing, if you notice this, you see how it's scratched? It doesn't feel that on the inside, only the outside. But I had a gold ounce in here, so I took it out and put it in another one. So just be careful that. I think what happens is I kind of put a new coin in and I just throw it in and put it back in the safe and close the safe. So it must scratch this, but I don't think, first of all, it's cold, so it's not going to hurt it. But anyway, don't lose the faith on gold. No matter what happens with BRICS, the dollar's going out, just like Venezuela. That's why I show you Venezuela. That's why I show you Cuba. Did you see all those, Bobby, or do I need to reshoot what I did Sunday? But I will if you need it. But basically, alligators quotes on Sunday. I'll show you. So it's on research, gold money. So it's right here. I did this whole thing on Say's Law, and you can see it's Alligator McLeod. And this was on June 22nd. This was a real good article. It was really long. And what it says is Say's Law is the market, which is what I keep telling you. You make electric cars, there's no market. Here's the market for ribs. So this is Say's Law. We consume by getting a job, making money, and then we produce by doing, like I do my finance job, I get paid. Teaserking, I get paid. And then I go buy things, golf clubs, food, dinners, whatever, go on trips. So that's okay. But what the communists and the Keynesians do is they got away from Say's Law, and they want the government to run the market, not us. We're the only one that can run the market, because I'm the only one who can say, I really want a blue T-shirt. I might say I want a green T-shirt. I might say I want a shirt and tie. I might want new glasses. I got to shave. It's all up to me, and it's and I don't really know. It's I think I want to go buy a new pitching wedge because my golf clubs are in fucking Alabama on the moving truck that I'll never go get. So I have the hankering to go hit some wedges to help my back, which is feeling perfect right now. And so I might go to a golf store and get a wedge and a putter, and at least I can chip and putt. And again, you can't use the government to figure out the market, because, like I say, you can figure out New England, but now Tom Brady's not there. All the New England stats are meaningless, and that's the problem with trying to trend something. That's why I bitch at all the guys who say, look what happened in 2008 with gold. It's going to happen in 2022. It's just pure bullshit. It's a whole different scenario. That was the housing market crashing because you loaned money to people who had no debt, who had no credit and couldn't afford the debt. That's not what's happening now. Now you're basically fucking everybody because we have $33 trillion in debt and everybody's in trouble. But that's the difference. So the government can never run the market because they don't know what it is. And we run the market. That's what Adam Smith said. That's what Say's Law is it's a human market and it's impossible to read. But when the market wants a green car, you make green cars. When they want Canadian Club 12 years, you make Canadian Club 12 years. So the market with the demand will tell you what to supply. Say's Law. And what he's saying is the Keynes dismissed Say's Law, which is why everybody's fucked right now. And in the whole world, it's all Keynesian in every country, and they're all printing this bullshit fiat currency backed by nothing without Say's Law in every country, because it's all gone Keynesians, thanks to the Nazi George Soros. So because of that, every currency is going to zero. And if anybody thinks that's the plan, to ignore Say's Law and come out with digital currency, they're out of their fucking minds. These people are fucking clueless. They don't know what they're doing. If you ignore Say's Law, that's like saying, well, Aaron Rodgers is on the Jets, but we're going to ignore him now. We'll look at the Jets the last 5 years. We'll ignore that now Rodgers is on it. Or we'll ignore that Burrow is now on Cincinnati. We'll just ignore it. That's about how stupid it is. So that's what he's saying, June 22nd, updating Say's Law for modern times, saying they're not using it. And it's impossible to possibly predict the market if you're not letting the human, because it's unpredictable, basically. And that's what he's saying. So it's on this gold money, goldmoney.com. It's a great read. It's long. That's why I read it to you. So just go back onto my Saturday show, and I kind of walk through it and explain it if you need to. But that's what he did, and it's exactly what I teach you is Adam Smith, and that was what he was doing. People make choices. People ask for certain things, and that's what you listen to what the market's saying. That's what I'm saying about the electric cars. You would never make an electric car. Nobody wants it. So now, not only does it catch on fire. Oh, I know what I was reading. This should be in here. So one of these was on Elon Musk. And what he said is unbelievable. Here, okay. The Model Y Tesla, top speed 155 miles an hour, acceleration 3.5, electric range 300 miles. So if you go on a trip for more than 300 miles, you're fucked. You better find a charging station. Here's my favorite. Charging time, 8 hours and 15 minutes to charge your electric vehicle. So you're going on a trip that's 6-7 hours. Let's say I'm driving to Tampa. I can go 300 miles, and then I'm in trouble. I better find an electric thing, which I wouldn't know where it is. It's going to take me 8 hours and 15 minutes to charge it at 11 kilowatts. 0 to 80% in 32 minutes at 250 kilowatts. So I got to find a 250 kilowatt to get about 50% of it. So otherwise, probably most of these are 11 kilowatts. It's going to take me 8 hours to charge my car. Yeah, that's for me to buy an electric car and have to worry about where's the charging station. Can I pull in any gas station? And how much is it going to cost me? Oh, well, they're not telling you that. It's probably going to be $500 to charge your car, or so much a minute. Well, good luck. You got 8 hours. So you got nothing better to do for 8 hours. So yeah, we all want an electric vehicle. So I drive to Tampa. Then what? I got to find a charging station for 8 hours. What a stupid concept. So this is the problem. The whole thing's stupid, and there's no demand. And that's what I'm saying is we've got to want the product for you to make it. We want golf clubs. We want baseballs and footballs and stuff. You can't make a product that we don't want and try to make us want it. It doesn't work. So anyway, that's what he's saying. That's why these economies are in trouble. They're making stuff they shouldn't be. And then they go into debt because they're not free. So when Tesla goes out, he's going to go bankrupt. He's not really worth that much. It's all stocks. And for some reason, everybody's in Tesla thinking, oh, the electric cars will do everything. That's a bunch of bullshit. Until it goes up, it ain't going up. There's a lot better. I'd rather buy gold than put money in Tesla stock. So again, I was listening to this retirement show on the way home. And the guy's saying, well, you need to be in stocks and you need dividends and you need for taxes and stuff. And all I can say is gold, gold, gold. I don't have to pay any tax on gold. If I just buy gold and hold it, there's no, I don't have any tax. And when I sell it, if I sell it right, I don't have to pay anything. I might not have to pay a 1099 if I don't sell it here. And then I just get the money and I'm going to have no risk. And so the whole show, I'm screaming, just buy gold. That's my retirement. That's my life insurance. That's my, that's everything, right? I buy enough gold. I don't have to worry my thing. Even if it doesn't go up a dollar, I'm way ahead, because what he's not saying is inflation and the value of the dollar is going. So when the dollar goes out and everybody's bankrupt, great retirement planner guy. So he clearly doesn't understand inflation, and then he certainly doesn't understand gold. If you're in gold, it's a tack on Wall Street. If I put 200 grand in gold instead of leaving it in stocks in the bank, and everything collapses, my 200 grand's worth how many millions? On the other hand, if nothing happens, my 200 grand's still worth 200 grand, and the dollar is collapsing because they keep printing it. Either way, in a retirement plan, it's gold all the way and silver. It's a no-brainer. You really have no risk. Why these people are just lying to people? It just makes me feel bad. There's these poor idiots going, yeah, I better buy stock and I'll keep my money in the bank and I got to get income in my retirement. And you're like, just buy gold. Just what the fuck? So I don't know how to be a financial planner, but I try to do it here. Just buy gold. That's your life insurance. There's no taxes. It's going to go way up and there's no risk. It can never go to zero. So I don't know why when you're retiring, even before you retire, just put your money in gold. You can't lose. And yet people still, my friend in Florida, he's in Orlando, Bobby, and he works for the Navy or the Army or whatever. And I said, "Did you buy your gold and silver yet?" And he goes, "No." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't know how to talk to you because why the fuck aren't you buying gold? Why are you? What are you in the bank? What are you doing? You're working hard. If you just buy gold and silver, you won't have to work again a day in your life in about 6 months. Your $2,000 an ounce gold is going to be add a zero to it at least. It'll be 20,000. And even if let's say it moves from like 2 and they redo it at 7 or 8. Once they do that, it goes to 25 to 50. Because once people realize that they've been lied to and that gold's going to have this value, everybody runs into it, and all of a sudden it's 20,000. And once it hits 20, it hits 50. So that's why once it goes to 7 or 8, so it's going to be revalued. There's Alligator says it, Aegon says it. So I'm very comfortable that it's going to be revalued pretty soon. But once it does, and silver, one idiot said they're keeping the price low on silver so they don't have to give workers in Mexico a raise. What was that? That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. If the price of silver is $20 or $2,000, the worker makes the same amount. You're not giving them a raise because the price of silver is $2,000 an ounce. What the fuck's the guy talking about? Where do they get these morons? And they're on the shows, and I'm sitting there watching them laughing, giving them negative comments like, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't matter. You're on the Mets. Did it matter how much the Mets made to have anything to do with your salary? No. You hit 320, you're making money. You hit 190 like the Tigers, and you can't even stay in the major leagues. It has nothing to do with what the team made. And the guy in the Tigers, they're really crushing this guy, Maton. He sucked. He was one of the 150 hitters. And so he made 2 errors on Sunday against Minnesota, and they sent him down to the minor leagues. And these little idiot radio guys are, well, he cost us the game. And I'm like, dude, he made an error. It didn't cost us. What cost you the game was your pitcher who gave up the runs and the hitters who hit 150. And everybody makes errors. You can't blame the guy. Then he immediately went down to the minor leagues, and the managers, they started getting on the manager. Why was he out playing third base in the 8th inning? He's not a good defensive player. Now that part, that's how the professor would manage. If I got a 1-run lead in the 7th inning, my best defensive team's out there and my best pitcher's out there. And I'm not waiting for my ace for the 9th inning. My ace is going to face the 3, 4, 5 hitters whenever they can. They might come up in the 7th or the 8th. You're facing my ace. I'm not leaving my ace for the 9th. I'm putting the ace in against their ace. Art of war. You cut your strength against their weakness. And if I got a bad pitcher, then they got their strength against my weakness. I'm fucked. So I put my strength against their strength. And then I can put a second level in the 9th inning against their 7, 8, 9 hitters. I don't have to put my strength out there. I can put a strong pitcher. And if I don't have them, then they shouldn't be on the team. And that's my point. A lot of these guys are not pros, and it's a joke. But again, you don't base it on if my company's making a profit, I should be working. If these companies start losing money, then you lay off people, of course. But if I make 10 million and then I go up to 20 million, I don't give people raises. The CFO gets the raise or the CEO, but I don't give my IT staff a bonus because I might give them a bonus, but their salary, if it's $100,000, is not going to 120 because we made more money. It's based on their merit. Anyway, 10:40. I am tired and it is late. But I wanted to do it because I kept hearing this retirement stuff, and I wanted to talk about all this gold and silver that I keep seeing, this war. Jenna texted me with this coup. Oh, there's a coup going on. So it was the Wagner group, but I don't know what that was about. He didn't do anything. I would have thought he would have known, but Putin put him down. So I don't know. I don't know if there is an end game to this fucking war. All I know is I can't go to Russia and meet Daria. So it's crazy. Her daughter is went to Sochi where they had the Olympics. It was a 2-hour train ride, a 2-day train ride. So now she's on her way back. She left yesterday. She'll be back tomorrow. Who the fuck can be on a train for 2 days? Are you kidding? Is Russia that long? You know, how many hours was that? But that's just insane. From St. Pete to Sochi. But she's got like a bed. She sent me a picture. So she's got a bed and got their own car, stuff like that. But it's got to be nuts. Anyway, that's the same thing when Jenna goes to Poland to meet, because they don't have an airport open in Ukraine. It's 20 hours on the train. It's fucking crazy. I mean, I guess these trains go 20 miles an hour. I don't know. They need the bullet trains like in these movies. All right. I think that's it. So definitely Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, I don't know. I'll probably be going to the coin store. They seem to have stock Friday afternoon until it's out. Oh, and one thing, I got to share this with you. I'm at the car place, and the guy, we talked football and gold with the manager. So he says, oh, I know who this. So this is LNT Precious Metals. And this guy's the one that stocks the jewelers and stocks my coin shop with the coins and jewelry. So he is the master. He makes the coins, he makes the diamonds, he sells them to the jewelry store, all that. So if you want them, well, that's his. I don't think you can call him. Maybe you can, but I don't know if he doesn't know you. So I got to get there first. Say I know Brad, who's the manager. He's the finance manager at Toyota. And so he gives me a free oil change, and I give him football picks and gold picks, not gold. And so it works out nice. But so he told me that I told him to sell shit on eBay and stuff like that. Anyway, so I got to check that place out. But apparently, they sell the gold and silver to my guy at my store. So he says, Bobby, we got to get, he says he has these silver bars, like the James Bond bars, gold and silver. Right? Well, obviously we couldn't afford a gold one. It'd probably be $1 million for a pound of gold. But he also has like silver, but real nice silver bars. So I want one of those. I don't know how much it is, if it's a pound, but if it's a pound, 16 ounces at $26 an ounce, only that's $300-400. I think it'd be neat. If I get one, I'll show you, and I'll buy you one. If you want one, but I think you'd like it. But anyway, it's really close to me. I'm on 9 Mile. It's on 10 Mile and a couple miles over. So I got to check it out. Maybe I'll go on Friday, but so I don't know. I mean, for sure I'll do the show Saturday, Sunday. It's either today or Wednesday. I probably won't do tomorrow unless something pops in. But again, I got to get to the pool by 8:00. It closes at 8. It was closing at 9:30. Now they're closing at 8. So I leave by 6 to hit the bike and then hit the pool. And it's been really helping my back, the stretches. So Tuesday or Wednesday will be 8 o'clock. And then Friday I get off work. I'll probably run to the gold place, but I don't have to run to the pool until 4 or 5 o'clock. So probably run to the coin place, then I can do it at like 2 o'clock, like I did last week. And then our normal 11:30, 12 o'clock Saturday, Sunday. So figure that right now. Obviously, once football comes, I'll have to make it like Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday type of thing, because we got to go over the pro and the college, and then look at the line movements, and then normally I like the Monday class. We go over the last weekend, but I'll have to stuff it all in, and then we'll have a little less on the gold and silver. If anybody knows how to make these markers, because it's such a long show, I know when I watch Alligator or Andrew McLeod, it kind of gives a break talking about gold, talking about central bank, and you can kind of see on top what the subjects change. And I want to do that here because we talk about so many things between the girls and the poker and the football and the handicapping and the gold and everything. This way, if you had the markers, you could, let's say you want gold, you can just go to the gold. If you want football, you can just go to the football. And I don't want to make people listen to the whole show to figure out where it is. So if you know how to do that, I'm going to check it out. I'll probably just Google it. There's got to be a way because they're doing it, but we'll see. Anyway, and then the other thing is I want to see how to show you my Excel screen on here. Like I know a lot of guys put the little charts on. Well, I want to put the football on, but I don't know how to do that. So anyway, I'll learn. So anyway, have a great night. I will talk to you on Friday. Today's Tuesday. Payday Thursday. I love it. I love every other week. I'm either getting paid on Thursday or I got paid on Thursday. This is the getting paid on Thursday. So that's nice. Anyway, have a nice week. See you Friday. Again, www.teaserking.com. Get my email if you want to get a hold of me. Before then, please do. Like Nick, I give Nick I think McCullough was going the other day. Just anytime you see McCullough, bet on it. Verlander was going, I think, yesterday. So do that. You're welcome, Bobby. It's always a pleasure. Maybe, I'd be happy to meet you. You can go to Amsterdam, Vegas. You pick the poison, but that's the thing. I go to Amsterdam, meet a girl, and date her, and it's her, right? You meet her, it's her, you like each other. Where this Kenzie's like, what the fuck? Are you're watching me and you're worried about me hurting you? Well, then stay inside because I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, all right. Have a nice night. Take care. We'll keep watching the gold and Friday, Andrew McGuire. Hopefully it'll be better than last week. Last week's show wasn't bad. And Alligator I haven't seen, but he does the blog. I'm good for that, but I didn't see him. I keep looking for him on one of these stupid shows. But then they show he does a thing with Egon, and then they show it on 5 other shows. You're like, I already saw it. All right. Have a good night. I'm tired. Time for sleep. Time for work tomorrow. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a nice night.